Hello and welcome to another episode of the Christian Reeve podcast. Today's guest is a musician. He is a producer. He is a very talented artist. His name is Xaiden Raye. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
Thank you for having me. It's been a minute. We tried to get this sorted for so long, but yeah, finally here.
We did. Um, it's interesting because I've been doing this a long time, and normally when someone's like not able to do it, I mean, people do get back, people reschedule and stuff, but sometimes I kind of just let it be. Like I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
I just move on, and it was cool that you reached out and you really wanted to be on the show. I'm like, okay, fucking A, let's do it. Because I was like,
No, of course, man.
it was good. I'd
Of
like
course.
to shine a light on talented people and kind of and do that, you know. And I think I have done over the years. But yeah, I just want to take a minute, because as we record this, so I don't know when this will be released. It'll probably be released sometime in August. But yeah, this is how fucked up this is. Like Ozzy Osbourne and Hulk Hogan died within a day of each other, not even 24 hours. And I just want to talk about like the impact of like maybe being like an icon in a particular industry. So like Hulk Hogan in wrestling, Ozzy Osbourne um in the music industry. Like, what do you make of that? Like, who what do you make of that?
Well, I see. The thing is, I haven't watched WWE
Sure.
since I was like a kid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I remember me and my brother loved it. We used to go on the trampoline and do wrestling moves on each other. Um, but yeah, that's crazy. I've just seen it now. Cardiac arrest, 71. Ridiculous, man.
It was one of those where like I know how this will sound, but I literally just did a show with a guy. We were talking about like misinformation and stuff online, and can you trust things? And as fucked up as it sounds, there's been so many like death hoaxes over the years that whenever you see like a big death like this, there's the natural tendency to assume it might be fake. And with the Aussie one, when I saw like the litany of different outlets, I was like, okay, it's yeah, it's happened. With this Hulk one, I was looking at some of the resources, and I'm like, I don't know. I think it's true. I'm gonna go with some of them. Some of them I feel like wouldn't have reported it if they at least had uh, like either dead proof or like that's a bad way to put it. Sorry, I'm tired. I just got in
Yeah,
from work and
that's all right,
I
man.
went
Same.
straight to
It's
do
okay.
this, and I'm like,
Got
it's
this.
it's like, yeah, I'm on coffee, so it's like
Fair
literally
enough,
like
man.
work, come home, find out Hulk Hogan's died, and now we're recording. So it's
God,
like
jeez, man.
I
All
will
right.
I will say I've been a wrestling fan since I was a kid.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
it's I was just saying to you off camera, it's interesting seeing these people pass away, thinking about your own personal feelings, and then considering the wider legacy of such a thing. Ozzy Osbourne for me was like a hero, like
Mm.
an amazing songwriter, a good mentor, you know, a good guy, a good father, just an all rounder. He had a crazy life, like he really did kind of live life to its fullest and really made the most out of it. Like I think like the music alone is legendary and he as a character is legendary, but like his life and all the things, you know, he did, like he was a
Oh,
living
mate.
legend
He
before he
was
ever passed
mental
away.
because, like, all the stories you hear, all the drugs he took, the amount of alcohol he drank, this guy was crazy. Did you hear what was it? He ate a bat on stage, something like it was a real bat, but he didn't
I've
think it was
heard,
real.
yeah, I've heard so many stories about that. Like the go-to story is that he thought it was a rubber bat and he
Yeah.
ripped its head off. And I always thought that was BS because
Do
like
you think?
well, there was a lot of stories back in the day, like I remember, what was it? There was a famous story that I used to hear a lot as a kid that Marilyn Manson had supposedly removed his ribs so that he
Oh,
could
yeah. I
pleasure
had that too.
himself. Yeah, and I'm
Hmm
like, that sounds like BS. And
Yeah,
I
I
don't
thought that
know,
was BS.
it always sounded like it was like those stories you'd hear as a teenager where you're like, "Ah, I'm calling BS."
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, it does kind of sound like something Ozzy would do by accident because he was
Yeah,
just a
if
bit of a
anyone's gonna
badass.
do it, man, it's Aussie to do it. Do you know what I mean?
But it's interesting for me for those two legends to go out a day of each other because if you look at Hulk Hogan, right?
Hmm.
Hulk Hogan was the wrestling guy in like the 80s and in the 90s too, just different. Very much a pioneer in professional wrestling. If you're not a wrestling fan, you would definitely know the name Hulk Hogan. It's synonymous with wrestling. I heard one time a lot in America they refer to certain things as like Americana. There's like certain things that are considered of that ilk, and I feel like Hulk Hogan was certainly that. Like I remember CM Punk, the professional wrestler, once said that like wrestling chart like if you're a fan of popular culture, at some point everyone will have been a wrestling fan in their life, most likely. That's kind of
Yeah,
the mostly it's like you're a kid and then maybe you grow out of it, or maybe you discover it later in life, or you're a lifelong fan like myself. But you will at some point, or maybe you just played the games. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of ins.
yeah. I think I liked it as a kid because I thought it was real. I think it's when I found out it wasn't real and it was all acting, I was like, oh, that's not good anymore. And then I stopped.
That's where you're wrong, but I will fight
Yeah.
anyone for
No,
me to
yeah,
mess
yeah,
it up.
fair enough.
The best I've heard it explained two ways, and one makes me happy and one makes me sad. So the happy one is someone described it as live action theater, and I thought that's genius. If you think about
That's
it,
yeah,
it
that's true.
is. It's
Very
live
true.
action theater. Another person described it as being like it's a soap opera, and it fucked me
Oh,
off because it's
okay.
true. If you
Really?
compare, yeah, think about it. If you compare like wrestling to like EastEnders or something, it's got all the same things. Never-ending
True.
storylines, recycled storylines. Everything happens in the same place, and
Characters
it
come
never
back as
stops,
well.
right? And it never
Mm.
stops ever.
Wow. Yeah,
There you
that
go.
does make a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
it made me a bit sad. Um, But just going back to legacy, because that's the whole reason I brought all this up. Because I don't want to spend too much on this. This is about you, this show. But I just had to talk about it because it's not every day that like someone or people this famous pass away. Like
Yeah.
that, there's been certain people that have passed away within my lifetime, which were huge. Like I remember the day Michael Jackson died. I remember the day David Bowie died. Like there were people that transcend just being like whatever they are, an actor, a musician, etc. Doesn't have to be the creative fields either. It could just be like business people or whoever, whatever background. But there are certain people that when they pass away, it leaves like a legacy behind forever, and they inevitably had like an impact on human culture, popular culture, I guess. And
Yeah, for sure.
for me, it's like Ozzy Osbourne was that, and Hulk Hogan was too. But the one thing I want to say about the Hulk Hogan thing is that, and I'm not saying that like Ozzy never made mistakes in his life because he did, and they were documented. But I think most people kind of consider him as like a good guy, and you don't really hear bad things. Whereas Hulk Hogan, unfortunately, and this is interesting. I want to get your quick thoughts on this before we get it all
Yeah.
into you. Here's the timeline of what happened, and I think this is quite interesting. So Hulk Hogan in 2015 had, I don't know, he was part of a lawsuit at one point. I do remember that. I can't remember if the lawsuit preceded this or was afterwards, but there was a clip released of him. Do you know what? We're mature adults. I'm just going to say it. He was having
Yeah.
sex with his best friend's wife,
Right. Okay.
and his best friend knew that, and it was being recorded.
Oh,
Whatever.
I did hear about this. I
Yeah,
did. I did. I
yeah.
did briefly
And
hear on this.
I was like, okay, well, you're all consenting adults. Do what you want. but the controversy came about of the fact that Hulk Hogan was under the influence of drugs, as is clear and evident in the tape that was recorded of him as like an audio tape. And you can hear him sort of moaning and complaining, and it's the rant is about his daughter dating a black man, and he then he drops the n-bomb at some point, and it's just kind of like berating and just kind of generally being pessimistic and like, oh, this da 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 da, he's dating my daughter, blah blah blah. Now, the interesting thing about it is the timeline and also people's reactions, because I don't know if he was a racist in like the classic sense. I think he was a racist in the sense that he was old fashioned. He
Yeah.
had old ideas, antiquated ideas, things that like your everyday person these days would never think. You know, maybe a product of his time is a way of putting it. And you know, I heard a lot of black people say the same thing, that like it's not like a clear cut thing. It was like a, well, it was a horrible thing to say, and he shouldn't have said it, and he should know better. But I don't know necessarily that he was racist. But the interesting thing about it, which makes me think, yeah, maybe he was, is the fact that this all happens. The WWE at the time, he was on what's called a Legends contract, so it's like a, you know, like you sign a deal and you no longer are a wrestler, but you do appearances and fan conventions and whatever, and you get paid and you get put in promotional deals. Maybe you're in the video game, whatever, right? Just a business deal. They dropped him from that and dropped him from the Hall of Fame, which was interesting. And I was
Wow.
like, I remember thinking at the time, I was like, he is so huge in wrestling that it's impossible to delete him from like, you can't do that.
Yeah, not from the Hall of Fame. Surely not.
Well, no, you can delete him from a Hall of Fame. You can be like, we don't celebrate this person. But they were trying to erase him from like wrestling history, and I was like, that's lunacy. You know,
Wow.
they tried to do it with Chris Benoit, and I think everyone agreed with the decision. People didn't agree with the idea of you're not allowed to talk about him, but it was fair enough. They didn't want to advertise him, and definitely never put him in the Hall of Fame. I agreed with all that. But I did think it was kind of silly to pretend like he didn't exist and try to like hide his name. I was like, that's bizarre to me, because he was a real person. He did exist, and those things, you know, his career did happen, and he was tied to a lot of historic moments. Now, Hulk Hogan, the face of wrestling for decades, so that's impossible to delete him. But they tried, and it was like, okay. And for like 3 years, you know, that's that sphere that he existed in. And then he was off, like brought back into the WWE. The news outlets say that he issued an apology, to a public apology, but also like a locker room apology to everyone in the modern locker room, and said that and did that, etc. And it was split. So some people were like, okay, cool, and other people were like, nah, don't believe you, bro. I've always been on the fence about how I think about was he, wasn't he. I mean, ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. That that was his life, you know, his mistakes, etc. But when you work this entire career, you famously work very closely with people of color, and you know, he had friends that were very famously. So I looked at that and I was like, if that were true, then none of those people would have been friends with him or associated with him or done business with him. I think a
Oh,
lot of
for
the
sure.
time, you know what I mean,
Yeah,
out of
that makes
principle.
sense. Yeah,
Yeah, like I mean, I wouldn't work with someone who was a racist. Or you know, who was discriminatory. Principle, I would, yeah, I would not do that. Um, so that's where I was always confused about it. But like, also, well, he did say those things, and a lot of people didn't forgive him. And I reckon it was because he came across as insincere. I think it was that coupled with attitudes, and there's all this bizarre shit online. And I know they say like you shouldn't speak ill of the dead. I agree, but you can talk about the facts. I think
Yeah.
you shouldn't sit there and say like, oh, they were evil, unless they really were. But I think you can talk about the good and the bad. I mean, I've already built him up and said the positives of his life. But look, it's a complicated legacy because Ozzy goes out as a living legend into, just walks into the sun and forever a legend in death, in life and in death. Hulk Hogan, there's always going to be an asterisk. There's always going to be
Mm,
this. Yeah, he was a legend, but we feel he was racist. Like people
hmm
will defend it. I've already seen people be. I've seen a lot of just stuff online where some people were like, "Yeah, hero." Other people were like, "Didn't like him as a guy, but appreciate what he did." And other people were like, just saying
Just
horrible
nah.
things.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, I just to wrap this up, I just thought that was quite interesting and also just bizarre the way the universe works that those two people just pass within 24 hours of each other. The world is
It's
crazy.
crazy. It is crazy. There was people making death predictions online, which I thought was crazy. And they had Ozzy Osbourne on it. And I was
Jesus.
like, wow, that's they had Danny DeVito on it, so
I
that's
mean, I
weird.
mean, some of it like these guys had good innings. They were in their 70s. Hulk Hogan had a history of like spinal injuries, and to get to his 70s is pretty amazing in retrospect.
Yeah.
Same with Ozzy. He'd been off drugs for many decades, I think, but still, he
He was looking a little bit worse for wear coming up, respectfully, but
it was.
yeah,
I think
he's
it was the Parkinson's. He
mm,
was diagnosed within the last 5 years, I believe. And as we know, with a lot of these illnesses, it can dramatically affect your physical health, and like to see him on stage, considering photos we'd seen like a year prior, was incredible. I think he
oh
must
yeah.
he must have been in so much pain, and yet he did it for the fans, and I think he'll have respect till the end of time for that. What a legend! And even Hulk, Hulk wrestled well into his 60s and couldn't move. Always had mad respect for wrestlers that they do that. They do it for the fans, and oh yeah, okay, they do it for money or two and all that. But like they really do put their bodies on the line, like physically. And I've always had mad respect for that. But yeah, anyway, rest in peace. So
R.I.P.
we're finally getting to poor Xaiden. I apologize for this.
That's all right. No, of course, you
The
have to
way the
talk
way the
about it.
universe works. Gosh, I don't know how to transition into you in a
It's just started
meaningful
raining
way.
now.
It's
I don't know
raining,
if you can hear
Christ.
that.
It's just
It's just
all just happy days. Um, let's talk about Little Xaiden, where your journey began. How did you get into music? Like, where does it all begin for you?
That is a great question. Well, I originally it was in year nine. I did art. I dropped art to do music because I was sitting in the art room and I was all like, "Oh, my drawings are great," but then I'd go in and hand in my work and I'd look at everyone else's. Everyone was painting like the Mona Lisa or something insane, and I'm there like, "Man, mine looks shit." So I was like, "Okay, I want to do something else. What can I do?" I was like, music. I'm not that good, but let me just give it a go. Did that, and then I found this guy online who's called Vic or Vic, and he just posted a song like called "What I Do," and I was like, and it was all about how he's like trying to come up and he's showing the world what he can do. And as cringy as it sounds, I was like, I can do that. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a bit of me. And then I just started posting in 2020 during lockdown when I had the time to do it.
Right on. Yeah. One thing that struck me from the first time I came across you was your production knowledge, because you are regularly reviewing music,
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that do this on TikTok. Some are good at
Oh
it,
yeah.
some
Yeah.
some are not. And some of the ones that are not are kind of painful, to be honest. Anyone can review music in the sense that you can say, all right, this is good, this is shit, or
Yeah.
I don't think you have to be a trained musician to have a good ear for music,
For
but
sure.
I think it helps. But if you start talking about things like production, I think then you do have to know what you're talking about. And I immediately got that sense. Like I didn't know anything about you, but I was like, this guy's clearly worked in production. And then it came out, and I think the thing that really kind of shocked me, but it wasn't shocking, but it was just kind of like, okay, and it kind of affirmed everything. Was when you actually played a bit of your music in a stream one time. I was like, this is incredible. Well, no, actually, I think you just released the song. You released the
Yeah.
song where I heard it beforehand, and I was like, this is something.
Wow, man. Thank you.
Oh, of course, man. And then every song I heard since then, I was like, okay, he's got to release this. When's he going to release this? When's this going to happen?
I don't
And
know.
it's still haven't released it.
I still don't know.
You've
I
released
don't
this.
know.
You've released one single for sure.
I've
That's
released
what.
one single, yeah.
There you go. What was the response to that? What was
It
you
was
thinking about?
pretty good. I was trying to get it on playlists and stuff, but
Mm.
man, it's so hard. I'm sure you know.
Oh yeah.
It's
Um,
impossible. And promoting, I hate promoting, but you've got to do it, you know.
it's it really is luck of the draw. And I know some
Oh, for
people will
sure.
be annoyed at me for saying that, but honestly, when you look at the efforts versus the luck factor, well, let's explore what that actually means. So there are many musicians out there. It's easier now to produce and release your own music than it ever has been before. It's so easy to get it out and distribute it with very little, to be honest. I mean, I did it through Ditto, and it was rather inexpensive. Like, granted, you can't physically buy it. Yeah, I haven't got merchandise or anything because, again, you have to spend money to make money. But I did invest in, studio time and obviously creating the album itself. Never really bothered with paid advertising because I did a little bit on TikTok. It made no difference.
Yeah.
I've always kind of seen paid advertising, especially from my marketing days, as being like a kind of pointless unless you're just trying to like rank for a particular keyword and you just keep pumping money into it in order to get clicks or something. But really, especially as a musician, it's about being seen and how
Mm.
often you're seen and being seen by the right people. You'll often see people say, well, you just have to appeal to your niche. You have to find your niche. And I'm like, well, music is so subjective. It really is. I've had all sorts of comments. I've had people say, this is incredible. Fresh, interesting music. I've had people say, "Oh, this is a throwback. Reminds me of the '80s." I've had people say, "You ripped off this person," and I'm like, I don't even know who that is. I remember that one was funny. Someone said that I sound a lot like Jerry Cinnamon, and I was like, I've heard the
Gary
name.
Cinnamon, Scottish guy.
Yeah, I'd heard the name, but
Yeah,
I'd
Scottish.
never really sat and listened to his music, and I was like, how are you going to turn around and say that something is a rip off when like you don't know the first fucking thing about me.
Yeah,
Like,
I've seen Jerry Cinnamon live, so I can tell you right now, you don't sound like him.
it's just a bit crazy,
So,
isn't it? People hear what they want to hear and they say what they want to say. But I think the only way you could ever truly rip someone off is if you sit down and consciously attempt to do so. There is going to inevitably be influences that seep their way into your music, and I acknowledge mine. Like, if you tell me, oh, I can hear like Radiohead or City in Color or like someone said The Cure and the Smiths, and I never like I listened to those bands, but I never really kind of consciously thought about it. And I was like, I do hear what they're saying. I do hear that. And I think it's reasonable. And I think you should be transparent about these things as well. Like it helps. Like I remember Avenged Sevenfold released an album in 2010, I think, called Nightmare, and it's a fantastic record. If you've never heard it, I really recommend it. It's an excellent heavy metal album. And the interesting thing was some, I wouldn't necessarily call them criticisms, but people were saying this sounds a lot like Pantera. And the band were like, well, at the time, we just happened to be listening to a lot of them when we were in the studio, and it just kind of influenced it. And it's like, that's reasonable, you know?
That makes sense. The artists you listen to, you're gonna kind of seep into what they're doing subconsciously, sort of.
Yeah, and like nothing is truly original. You know,
Hmm.
nothing is. Like I just heard recently that like Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes is based on a classical piece. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Mac DeMarco was heavily inspired by a lot of Japanese jazz from I think the
I
70s.
see that. I do see
He
that.
sampled it though. You can hear it, and he
Hmm.
acknowledges that too. And it's I've always thought, okay, as long as you're transparent, you don't try to purport to be like a unique genius who's not influenced by anyone. I think that's reasonable. You know, people
Yeah.
will accept it and be like, cool, all right. Um, but it's harder than ever, ironically, to be discovered, to be seen, to be appreciated. Because whilst it's easier than ever to get online and to get your music out there, there's no guarantee that people are going to listen.
Yeah, I
And
always say it's 20% talent, 80% luck. This is what I say.
I think so. And well, I will add. Okay, this would be my equation:
Okay.
20% talent,
Mm,
and then okay, what does that leave? 80. So 40% marketing, 40% luck.
luck. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Okay, yeah, I can agree with that.
like ever since I started promoting my music back in November last year, I did see an upsurgence in listens for my music, right? And especially since I did this like every day, like I released my album and I immediately started doing the day one, day two, day three, and it's
Yeah,
interesting.
what day you on now?
243.
Wow. Fair enough.
And
Keep it up,
it's
man.
that's the thing. It's interesting. Like the algorithm likes it. I think people like it too, especially if you're being genuine and sincere. It's like, oh, he's legit been promoting it for 243 days. Some people will be dicks and just be like, man, fuck you. I don't like it. And it's like, okay, cool, but this isn't
Wow.
for you. Oh yeah,
All right, scroll on, man.
literally. But you just got to do your thing. And I keep seeing that Bowie quote. It comes up again and again and again. It was an interview he did, and he said the worst thing you can do as an artist is start making music for people. You have to think
Mm,
about the reason you started doing this and make that your focus. And don't focus on anything. Almost like shut the world out so that your creativity is not stifled or in any way affected by the negativity or expectations of other people. Just focus on this is my art. This is what I got to do. Got to put it out there.
that's true. I would slightly disagree as well.
Go for it.
I think in some sense you do kind of need to make music for the people. I say mainly you make music for yourself. But let's say you release a song that's maybe not your type of sound, but that's the one that blows. You're more inclined to do a song like that again because it blew up. You
Depends.
understand?
Depends though, doesn't it? Because you've hit on a very good point there.
Mm.
See, that's a decision between do I do what I want or do I do what
Mm.
works?
Yeah. See,
Because
that's
and
it's
here's the
tricky.
thing, right? Here's the problem with that. This applies to everything. It could be acting, it could be music, it could be content creation. You see it a lot in content creation. If you're a content creator and you just do what works, you can fall into the trap of making stuff you don't want to make. As a musician,
True.
making music you don't like,
Hmm.
which is even worse
Um,
because you got to go perform that shit. At least with videos, it's like I
yeah.
made that video, I can turn my back on this at any point, but you can't escape your music once it's out there
Mm.
and people like it. Dislike like Radiohead doesn't like Creep, but that's their favorite. That's their biggest song. If
Yeah.
they did a show and they didn't play it, there would actually be backlash.
That's true.
You can't
Very
escape
true.
it. It's
It's very true. I think a good example of what I'm saying is Little Yachty. He just does rap and he's been doing rap for ages. But in 2023, he released a psychedelic rock album.
Mhm.
So weird, but it was amazing. And it's like, did he want to always release psychedelic rock? But maybe he was just doing rap to build up his career. So then he could drop this. I think if he dropped psychedelic rock at the start of his career, that wouldn't have blown up.
I mean, it's an interesting one because I think I will say I don't think you're wrong. All I'm saying is that I think it's just a choice thing. Do I choose to do what I want, or do I choose to do business and do what
Yeah,
works? And that's fine,
yeah,
but you do have to look at like the consequences of that.
for sure.
You're spot on with that. I mean, another good example is Post Malone. He started out in
Yeah,
metalcore bands. Not many people know this. He was a metalcore guitarist, and he was in a pretty big band. I can't remember the name of the band, but he was in it for like a cup of coffee, and he got fired. And he tried to do that for a while, didn't work out, and now he's one of the biggest rappers and pop stars of all time.
he goes into country now.
Yeah,
That's what he's doing now.
well,
Yeah.
there you go.
And I love his country songs now. They're actually really good.
He's trying something different, and I think that's admirable. I do think that there's some bullshit with it though. Not him specifically, but like Beyonce winning an award for a country song, I think is the insult to country music.
Yeah.
Because the difference between say like a Taylor Swift, like she started out doing country, she transitioned to pop. If she went back and then did some country music, no one's going to have an issue with it because
Yeah.
that's what she started with, right? Do you think Beyonce has any intention of just being a country singer now? I don't think so. I don't
No.
know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is it's all been built into this, and now she's a country musician. But
Maybe.
I feel like it was a gimmick. I feel like it. I'm a cynicist, but I feel like it's paid or there's some shady shit
Yeah.
going on. I just, I'm not the world's biggest country fan, but like I got to say that there are very, very talented modern country artists out there, especially in the States, and it's huge over there. And to see Beyonce win that to me is crazy. It's like the best film of the year not getting best picture and it loses out to like the wild card pick that no one really saw in the theaters or something. It's like what?
Yeah.
But again, it's a committee of people that decides it. It's not the people. Because if it was the people, it'd be very different, you
Yeah.
know? And I feel like go back to our discussion about, luck and resources and what it takes to make it, right?
Yeah.
If you hear what's in the charts and then you hear what's on the streets, it's mind blowing.
Mm.
I'm going to get into your sound in a second, but what I will say is that I have discovered I can't count how many amazing musicians I've discovered in say like the last year. Just a few off the top of my head. Zenith and Leader, two thrash metal bands from here in Manchester. Nova Crow, Liverpool, very seasoned sort of hard rock metal band. The Trusted, who from Southend on
Oh,
Sea.
I heard them on the podcast.
Right. Fantastic. I saw them in London. Fucking phenomenal. I've been a fan for years and a genuine fan. Like, and they're amazing. I can't believe they're not huge. I also discovered at the same gig a Scottish band called O Romance, and same thing. I see bands all the time from either gigs I've done or gigs I've seen, local gigs, or maybe I do like sound engineering and I just hear bands play and I'm like, phenomenal. Um, all got music, all doing bits, and just it's a luck of the draw if you get heard.
Hmm.
Um, I released an album in March, and
Yeah, I checked it out. I did. I did.
there you go. I appreciate you
Really
checking it
good.
out,
It
man.
was really good.
Thank you, sir. I tried, and you throw your stuff out there, and then it's like, it is what it is.
Yeah, Second Chance is a good name as well. I like that. I'm very big on giving people second chances. I'm always very forgive and forget.
I
Let's
don't know
move
if
on.
I've.
Third chances, maybe not so much.
I will say, because I really want to get onto your music. I've not spoken about this often, why I called it second chances, but the reason is a few reasons. One, this was my second attempt at music. I did music when I was closer to your age for a number of years, about 3 or 4 years. Didn't work out. I was in thrash metal bands, post hardcore bands, and then finally acoustic stuff. And it kind of broke my heart. It didn't work out. Gave up on it all. Became corporate Christian, cut my hair, all that shit, right? Believe it or not. Yeah, I've had short hair longer than more of my life than long hair, if you can believe that.
Wow.
Uh, yeah, I was a corporate guy, I was a marketing guy,
And
recruitment,
I
all
remember you
that shit.
said, I've been listening to your podcast. You said you lived in Estonia, which
I
I thought was
did,
really cool.
I did for
That's
about
awesome.
3 years. Yeah, different lifetime. But anyway, this
What's
is
the
not
what's the music scene like in Estonia?
amazing.
Is it?
Genuinely,
Oh,
yeah. And over there, like really, really amazing artists get airtime because it's smaller and I don't know. I guess the music scene's a lot more tight knit over there. But shout out to Miljadid. I had the lead singer on episode 10. Uh, shout out to them. Love you, Martin Kudingas.
that's awesome.
Yeah, Vaiko Eplik. Who else? Oh, there's like a litany of people. Erki Paranoia. Yeah, this could go on. There's good music to be found anywhere. I mean, even in this
Yeah.
country, people are like, oh, modern music these days is not good. I used to be in that crowd, and then I actually started listening to the stuff coming up, and I'm like, you know what? There is fucking amazing music out there right now that you have not heard. And if you just start giving local bands a chance, it'll blow your mind. I'll say this as a final point because we need to get into you.
It's all right. I like the conversation. It's okay.
So do I, but like, I don't want to sleep on you, man, because this is about you. I went to see the Trusted in London. I paid £7 to see them. They were a support act. It was phenomenal. I didn't stay for the headliner. I saw a few, wasn't my thing.
Oh,
Um,
fair.
yeah, they're all right. Just didn't, yeah. But I discovered a romance and I saw the Trusted and I was like, I paid £7. This band should be like at fucking arenas. They're that good. I honestly believe in them. They're that good. And I was
Fair. I have
like,
to check them out.
this is the thing. Like, this is what you're missing out on with the local scene. Get yourself into the local scene, check it out. You never know what you're going to discover because the reality is the local bands of today are the stadium bands of tomorrow. That's just fact. Speaking of which, I've listened to quite a few songs of yours. I've heard them.
Yes.
You've unreleased them. You not unreleased them. You haven't released them yet. You got one
I've
song
released
out.
it. Yeah.
What was your single called again? Remind me.
Zombie Land. It's
That's
called
it.
Zombie Land. Yeah.
Zombieland. Right. So one of the questions I had here was that, and I've said this to you in streams, but I'll say it here. Your music reminds me, it's very American vibes.
Mm.
Very
I've
much
got that
like,
before.
right. It's kind of, to me, being a wrestling fan, it's the sort of stuff where I'm like, I could hear this as a pay per view song. I could hear this at like, okay, SummerSlam pay per view song. Because in more recent years, WWE has done this thing where they have like multiple songs as themes for their pay per views. It used to be like only one, but now it's like several. Or
Yeah.
I could hear it as like, Raw anthem for 2025. Like I could, there's something there. I can't explain it, but there's this like particular American sound about it that you could just hear being used in certain things. And some people would see that as a criticism, like, oh, that's like a manufactured sound. I disagree. Like, people don't realize sometimes, even with the slightly more manufactured sounds or the poppy sounds,
Yeah.
a lot goes into it. And I know from your production skills, a lot went into it. You produced, sang, and did everything in your album. And I think that's fucking phenomenal. If you go listen to Zombieland by Xaiden Raye, everything in that song is by Xaiden. And
Yeah.
it's that right there should be appreciated because it's hard enough being a musician, but producing your own stuff as well.
Yeah. All here as well. Right here.
There you go.
Just in this little cabin. I
So,
appreciate that, man, a lot.
no, no worries. Congratulations. Very proud of you for that. When it comes to your sound, though, let's look at that. Like, You said you've heard that before. Is that a conscious thing? Where do you draw inspiration from? Let's talk about your sound.
Well, if you're saying American, I mean, I used to do rap before all the rock stuff, and I always did an American sort of twang when I was rapping because I thought, that's what I need to do when I'm rapping.
Mhm.
Looking back on it, that's just so cringy now. But some people in my chat and my live streams sometimes think I'm American, and I'm like, okay, that's
I can
weird.
see it.
So I guess I kind of just have that American aesthetic going on. So
Yeah, I mean, you're very. Oh God, I'm going to sound ancient for this, but you ready? You're very trendy. You're very of the times. So I think it's that. Like when you're someone who is kind of a product of their time and maybe has their finger on the pulse of what's going on, but you're in it, you're living it. Because whereas like I know about these things as an older man, I'm not part of it. I don't try to be. Like I am very much a millennial. That's me. I'm not trying to be
yeah,
young. I've always cringed when people try to be younger than they are. I'm like, dude, just let it go.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like I still cling on to like wearing Converse and Vans and stuff from my childhood. I'll
yeah.
always do that. Probably
Fair
till I'm
enough.
80. Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's cool when someone is kind of their time and a product of their time and really embraces everything that is. And we're heavily influenced by American culture, maybe now more so than ever.
very true. Yeah, agreed.
But it's true. You do have kind of an American aesthetic. If you were walking down the street, I would assume that you were foreign, only because most people don't dress the way that you dress. Like the average British person, as we both know, does not dress that way. The average British
Yeah,
person, if it's a guy, is probably tight t-shirts, maybe
skinny
tight
jeans.
skinny jeans, or shorts, something like that.
Yeah,
Pump trainers, something like that. Just very, like they just walk through JD Sports, and
yeah, yeah,
that's the look. And
for
there's
sure.
nothing wrong with that. If that's your
Yeah.
look, all right. Because I've gone through phases when I was a
Oh
teenager,
man,
believe it or not.
same, same. I did wear skinny jeans for a part of my life, and that was not the way forward. I'll tell you that.
For me, the most confusing fashion trend we had as teens was this was when we were scene kids. Go look that up.
Seeing kids,
Yeah,
okay.
scene kid. Yeah, you don't know about this. It's
Nah.
you talking about cringe earlier. Go check that out. I got some photos I'll show you one day, and you will laugh your ass off. So flat caps. Didn't really matter what t-shirt you wore. You could wear band t-shirts. You could wear whatever Adidas t-shirt if you want. I'd mix it up. I'd wear a bit of everything. Often plaid shirts, like lumberjack style.
Oh, like flannels sort of
Yeah,
thing.
flannels,
I
open or
did wear a few of
closed.
them.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So imagine this look. This was often how I looked. Would be either just a t-shirt or the flannel, flat
Hmm.
cap. Um, what is it like? Tracksuit bottoms or like the grey ones that you'd wear at home when you're just bumming around, and then like Nike Air Force, like or like basketball style shoes
Oh
or
man,
skate
I bet you
shoes.
were. See, it's cringy looking back, but I
It
bet you were
is
the
cringe.
fucking shit back in the days.
Nah, it was lame then. It's lame now.
It was lame then.
I mean,
Come on, surely everyone was wearing.
a lot of people dress that way, but I remember even like a year later going like, yeah, that's not a good look. Like I look back at like the emo stuff and like people cringe at that, and I'm like, I don't have any issue with it. Or I look at like when I was a skater, because I was a skateboarder for 7 years, and I look back at that and I'm like, it's all fine. Skate shoes, skinny jeans, t-shirts. It's not dissimilar to how I dress now. I like the look. It's
I
kind
wish I
of,
could skate, man.
oh, you can,
Everyone
man.
looks at me because I guess American that's sort of skating as well. It's kind of fits in the aesthetic. They're like, "Oh, you must know how to skate just because of my look," and I'm like, if I stand on a board, I'm gone. Like I can't even
Never
stand on
too
it.
old. I mean, Tony Hawk's pushing 60 and he's still skating. So there you go. Anything's possible.
I like Skate 3, the game though. You must have played that.
Yeah, of course, of
Great game
course.
that.
Good. But for me, it was all about the Tony Hawk games,
Yeah.
specifically Tony Hawk's Underground. That is the greatest skateboarding game of all time. Honorable mention to American Wasteland. That was all right. Obviously, all the
What
Tony.
did you play on Xbox 360? What did you have? What was your consoles?
So
What are
I
we
say,
saying? PS1, PS2? We
so,
going
so
far?
well, yeah, man, I'm old, 32.
Nintendo 64?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I could never afford one, but I played everything. Like I remember, this is how old I am, right? I remember playing Sonic 2 on the Sega Mega Drive in like, how old would I have been? Probably like 1997. So I would have been up 4 or 5 years old. I
Yeah.
remember that. That's how fucking old I am.
Wow.
But my first like official console, I mean, I remember playing a lot of Super Nintendo and Sega Mega Drive. Those were family owned consoles. My first owned console would have been a PlayStation 1. And
Okay.
then around the time I was a young kid, like we're talking 7 or 8 through 12 would have been PlayStation 2.
Oh, so
And
you're on the
then,
PlayStation side. I was on the Xbox side.
you let me finish. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, go on.
then I got an Xbox and an Xbox
Okay.
360, and then I was an Xbox guy.
Oh, then fair. Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. Oh, so you really know like both sides, like PlayStation or Xbox, which one's better?
Yeah. I would growing up, it was a hotly debated topic. I feel like
Hmm.
Xbox 360, you had to pay to go online. PlayStation Network, you didn't
Yeah,
have to
gold.
pay. Yeah, they didn't eat real. I think you have to pay to go on it now, don't you? But back in the day, PlayStation Network,
Some games.
some game. That's
It's more
interesting.
lax now.
Back in the day, it was like completely free, so that was a big plus for PlayStation. From what I remember, I think there were more exclusive releases on Xbox 360 than there were on PlayStation. But there were some like particular bangers on PlayStation that you couldn't get on Xbox, and vice versa. So it was kind of one of those, and it was very tribal, which I always thought was stupid. Like it's a fucking games console, man. It's the same as like wrestling. Like when people are like, oh, I watch WWE, I watch AEW. It's like
Yeah,
you can watch anything. Like who the fuck cares?
it's
Like
the same with, iPhone and Android as well.
yeah, like I remember when I was a kid and people would be like, "Oh, you got an Xbox, you're shit." Like, "Oh, I got
Yeah, yeah.
PlayStation better," and I'm like, "Dude, if I had the money, I would have both. Fuck yeah." You
Yeah, of
know,
course.
but I picked a lane, and it's not like mummy and daddy like were able to buy that for me like straight away. Like, I remember getting my first Xbox. Like, my parents saved for like the better part of a year for that shit, and I was stunned. I was like, "Can we afford this?" I was like, "Thank you so much." Like, is this okay? What I mean, I was blown away.
Yeah, yeah.
And I very much did like to get new games. I would trade like a ton of old games that I didn't play. So I learned a lot about like I suppose thrifting culture, if you want to call it that. But like it was a big thing back in the day, like going to Blockbuster or whatever, like video saver places, and just trading your games in to build store credit to then be able to afford that big game.
Yeah.
I couldn't just afford to buy all the new games. That's why I find it funny when you see these like lolcows sometimes that have loads of money and they complain and they're like there was one I saw called Darkside Phil, if you've heard of him. And okay, yeah, I wouldn't recommend looking them up, but if you do,
Okay.
there's like a same with Chris Chan as well. They both like had videos where they complained them like, oh no, I need to buy all these games. I need to buy all these games because these games are coming out and I have to review them. I have to do this, and I'm thinking these are games. Yes, you are a content creator, but you don't have to buy them just
Hmm.
because. And they're expensive. Like, look, games have always been a bit pricey, but games now are crazy. Like people say like, oh,
Oh,
why
yeah.
don't you game, Christian? Well, I can't afford to. Like back in the day, you'd buy a PlayStation for like, I don't know, let's say normally what I would do is wait for it to go down in price, get it later. So if it came out
Hmm.
and it was £500, I wait until it's like 200, 300, and then kind of make a judgment call, right? Or get it pre-owned. I remember doing that quite a lot. Like I got like some really good, like I think I got the Slimline pre-owned, and that was fucking a. And I do that a lot with games as well. But like games new often were like 40 quid, and then I saw when that shifted to like the 50-60 rate. It was right around the time they started doing like special editions. So I remember getting like GTA 5 when it first came
Yeah.
out, but I got it for like I got the special edition one. I was like I bought an Xbox 360 just so I could play it because I probably will do the same for GTA 6 to be honest because
Oh, I can't wait till that comes out.
I'm a big fan of GTA games, so that'll be the game that pushes me into modern gaming because
Yeah,
I
I
have
don't
to
play
play it.
games anymore because solely for the fact I can't keep up with the new players
This is what I
now.
mean.
Oh my
Well,
god, they're insane.
we're talking online gaming. That's a whole other field. Like
Yeah, yeah,
you're, yeah. Because I mean, now it's gotten to a point where there's like leagues and people do it professionally. And yeah, I remember the days again, so old, like of Call of Duty and Halo, where it'd be skill match. You'd be matched with people around your skill level, and there wasn't all this crazy hacking that came later. But you actually had a chance of building yourself up. Whereas now it's like get spawned, immediately killed with
yeah.
and
And people create new accounts just so the skill-based matchmaking goes with like worse players.
yeah. And it's just a shame. Like it's not the same gaming experience, and
Oh no,
it's
it's
I
not.
don't know. There's a lot of like toxicity in that culture, just like many other fandoms and stuff. Where like I think people sometimes forget like a game is supposed to be fun.
Yeah,
Like
I
if
shouldn't be
nothing
throwing my
else.
controller at the TV.
Well, no, every gamer does that though. To be fair, we've all done
Yeah, no,
that.
I broke a few controllers in my time.
Yeah, I remember there were times my mum would just come in and be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, I was just upset or frustrated, and it wasn't even necessarily online gaming. It would have just been like I was just stuck, and I was just like, "Ugh," and it was
Yeah.
It was stupid. It was very childish. But then,
Oh, I'll tell you this actually. My dad threw my Xbox in the bin one time because I don't know. I was up playing whatever game, maybe like 2 a.m. or something, and I'm screaming at the game. Ah! He just comes in, says nothing, unplugs my Xbox, chucks it in the outside bin. I'm there like, and I paid for it too, 500 quid, whatever it was. And I'm like, no way, no way. He's not going to leave it in the bin. So I kept my cool. Next day, I check it's still in the bin. He's like, don't you get it out of that bin. And I'm like, what? I ended up getting it. I had to do some begging, but I got it back. It was insane.
wow,
My
I,
parents were
I
very strict.
yeah, no, it's good though. I remember sometimes when I was very very badly behaved, punishment. My mum. This was when I was a kid. Like it would just be like confiscate your games console kind of thing, and it worked. I'd say it was pretty effective. I wasn't a naughty kid. I was just a bit, make mistakes here and there. But it's interesting how it shifts because you said like you don't play games anymore. Like kind of same. Like I remember being like this is one thing I've never quite understood is like gamer addiction because when I was a kid and a teenager, I would regularly go out, skate, often go out, see friends. And I was right in the middle of like arguably what people say the golden age of gaming, right? Like it was the air, Halo 3, Call of COD, Modern Warfare, all that. I was there for all of it. It was fucking phenomenal. I'm more of an RPG guy, so I played Skyrim and Fable 2 to like nth degree. Love it all. And I look at it and I'm like, okay, well, I always kind of got bored after a few hours. I was like, I can't just sit here doing the same thing. And I
Yeah.
kind of sometimes you get like sick from it, like you not like motion sickness exactly, but you get a headache. And I just it's
Yeah.
just what I mean. It's the same as like if you're on a
No, I
computer
get
for
you.
too long, like you just start getting, or if you're in the studio, like listening to music. You
Hmm.
know how it is? They call it mushroom ears, don't they? Where you just like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
just
yeah.
have to do anything but not that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, yeah. I get
and
you.
and it starts to affect like your perception of what you're doing. So if you're in recording music, producing music, you start to overanalyze shit, and you get caught in a vacuum, and you can't really get out of your own head. So it's so good to
Yeah.
like get away from it. And
Yeah, you need to come back with fresh ears, like when you're recording. Or I'll go in and I'll be like, "Oh, can you listen to this? Because you've got fresh ears. I don't." Tell me what that sounds like.
I think another thing about gaming as well is like and maybe you'll agree with things like music and acting and creative stuff. Like you're always building something.
Mm.
With games, fair enough. You know, you're trying to complete a game. You could argue that's building. Obviously, there's games where you can actually build things like Minecraft. Gaming has evolved in such a big way. There's so many different ways to game and what to do, and you know, I understand that. But I think people do have to be quite self-aware of what's going on and realize that it can be bad for you. You know, it's not normal to spend all your time at home playing games all the time. It's bad for you. Human beings do need to get out of the house and do things and see the world and live. You know,
Yeah, oh, for sure.
you know what I mean? Like gaming might be the your favorite thing in the world to do, and that's great, right? But you still have to go outside and do stuff.
Yeah, it's funny as well because when like I love playing games. I was always playing games, and then lockdown came around, and then the government's like, "Oh, you can't go outside," and I didn't really go outside anyway because I was gaming all the time. But as soon as the government was like, "You can't go outside," now all of a sudden I want to go outside. So I went outside for most of 2020.
Dude, same.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Like tw- COVID made me realize two things.
Mm.
Uh, one thing actually is that I need to get out more. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because people are like, oh, my life's changed so much. I feel so restricted. I'm like, I was kind of happy for the first like 3 to 6 months. I was like, this is sick.
No, I loved COVID.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
great.
great.
I was just I did my thing, you know, go out. There's no one around. Don't have to bump into people. It's fun, fucking brilliant. But then inevitably that time came when it's like, man, I wish I could like go out and do things though and see the. And there was a guy that I live with, and we had a bit of a on-off kind of friendship. I think he was a good guy deep down though, but he couldn't understand why. And this was like when we were kind of headed out of 20. It was like 2021, 2022, that kind of time. He couldn't understand because he was like I want to go out all the time kind of guy, and he didn't kind of come out and say we were boring, but he didn't get it. And his backstory was that he'd spent time not doing stuff, and it, you know, he really wanted to make the most of his time there and do it, go out and do stuff. And you know, I kind of at first I rejected it, and then eventually he got us both out, but me and this other housemate, and I started coming out more and doing stuff, and I think it rubbed off on my other housemate too. And before you know it, now I'm a guy that often goes out and does things, and you know, I'm making up for lost time from my 20s. And it was a positive thing. You know, it's funny like how people can have a positive impact on your life and won't even necessarily be like a positive force in your life. Like, you know, they won't necessarily remain a friend, but they make you realize certain things about yourself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that was a big thing for me. And I think for many people, as you say, like yourself included, like it's, and yeah, it's reverse psychology, isn't it? Like someone says, you're not allowed to do this. It's like, oh, I want to do it now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, no,
No,
I
aw.
think uh yeah, I was gonna say something, I forgot.
That's useful when you're doing a podcast.
Always good. Forgot what I was gonna say. You have to come back to me.
Now I'm going to put you on the spot. You need to say it now. Like everything hinges on you in this moment to make this
Don't do that
podcast
to me.
interesting.
Don't do that. Don't do that to me.
Okay, let's transition it out of this. Let's talk your music more. How long did it take you to make the album?
Album? What album? Or just the
What do you
song?
mean? What album? Your unreleased album.
Oh, it's not written. I don't. It's not done.
I've heard at least 4 or 5 songs. It's either halfway
Yeah,
done or
it's just I don't know. I guess as a musician, we're all just perfectionists. So like nothing's ever done really, even when it's released.
that's true.
But
Very true.
I don't know. I wanna look. I do want to get an album out for Halloween. I think that should be the goal.
Why Halloween?
Because I think with the Zombieland, and God, I can't even speak. I can't speak. With the songs I'm making, they all kind of have this creepy kind of a vibe to them, which I kind of like. So around Halloween time, that's what I'm going to go for.
What's your thought process as far as like how you're going to promote it? Because with with Zombieland, I've not really been checked into like what you've been doing lately. I just remember you were playing around with TikTok and having some fun with it, and the vibe was positive. People were into it. I remember
Mhm.
when I'd play your songs in my streams, very well received. People were like, where can I hear this? And I had to let them down and be like, well, he's got one song out, but unfortunately these are not released. And even I was
Yeah.
scratching my head like, come on, bro, like you got to get
Yeah,
this.
people were telling me to do that just to release the songs. They're like, you have to release that. And I'm like, nah, but then
What's
I've got to
holding you
promote
back?
it.
What's holding you back?
It's the promotion side, really, because I mean, I did a little bit of promotion for Zombieland. I don't know if you saw the video of it. It was like
Hmm.
multiple of me's and all that. But it's like it didn't get that much attention. And I was like, oh man, I put so much work into it.
It's
Yeah, you know what
consistency
I
though,
mean?
dude. It's
It
not
is. I
it's
know.
not
I
just
know.
about what you do, it's how often you do it.
It's
Because
true.
let's review that. When did Zombieland come out?
At the start of April, I think, somewhere
Okay.
at 4th of April.
So it came out 4th of April.
Mm.
Now, how many days did you post content about it?
It's not a lot.
Give me a ballpark.
Don't know. Maybe like 4 days. 4 days of promotion.
4 days. Did you do any paid advertising for it? Anything?
No, no,
No.
no, no,
So
no.
4 days. It's not criticism. It's just
It's not good.
it's
It's not
illustrate.
good, but
It's better than nothing. It's
true,
out there,
true.
but it's
Yeah.
like at our level to get heard. It's got to be consistent, and
Mm.
nothing. Look, nothing is guaranteed. I've been doing as you know since God, how long is that?
Well,
Like, 3 parts of a year promoting
well,
my
look,
music.
I'll put it like this. I think it was more. I posted the songs like, oh, this is really good. Let me do some promotion. After 4 days of promoting it and hearing the same song over and over again, I just ended up not
Uh,
liking the song. And then if I didn't like the song, why am I going to promote a song I don't like anymore?
well, you fall in and out of love with songs. You know, I mean, I have that with songs on my album where I can like there were songs I wasn't even considering gonna put on the album because I was not a fan of them at the time, and then I recorded them anyway, and then I fell back in love with them. But I think a good way to look at that because you've okay you were focused on one single, you got to have an action plan.
Mm.
So you see, like with my album, it was 3 singles and then the release of the album, and there was music videos attached to those, right? But there was a clear like, okay, yeah, all right, it might be annoying for a month having the same song, but it's only like say 30 days,
Yeah.
and if you hate it that much, just mute it while you're doing the post. It's
Yeah,
fine.
it's true.
you
It's true. But
know,
I wanna do some promotional
okay,
thing that's like so out there. I wanna like really change it up. I don't
okay.
just want to be like, oh, hey, listen to my song of the summer. I don't want
Wouldn't
to do
it
all
be?
that.
I mean, you're look. I'm 10 years older than you, and I've had people turn around and say, "Oh, dude, cringe. You're like 30. Like, what the fuck are you doing?" And I'm like, "Well, first of all, I don't give a shit.
Mm.
Secondly, I'm having fun with it. Like sometimes
Yeah.
it's literally just it's often just my face. But
Yeah.
sometimes I just play around with it. Like we're artists at the end of the day. So, like here's a really good example. There's a lyric in one of my songs. The song's called Afterthought, and the lyric literally goes, "Just a moment of your time." And I was like, "Oh, that's kind of relevant to this." So I just, I kept doing that 7 seconds. And
Yeah.
obviously, as we know with TikTok, certain numbers, less is more, sometimes whatever, right? It may or may not work, but you play with it. There was another one where it was speaking more to my sense of humor. It's absolutely pissing it down. I'm in Manchester, I'm drenched, and the song playing in the background is my song Swings and Roundabouts. And I thought that was kind of funny, like,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
not, I don't know. But it's have fun with it. It's
Of
if
course.
nothing else, it should be fun. It's your music, and
Yeah.
they're not just getting into your music, but they're getting into who you are. This is a good opportunity
Yeah.
to tell people, well, who is Xaiden? Like, what? Why should we embrace you as an artist? Why should we support you?
Yeah. I think, I mean, I could obviously do that. I'd like, I don't care about like being judged, fear of judgment. I don't care. I can post what I want. Like that's okay by me. But it's just everyone's doing the whole here's my song, this is me. I want to just change it up, but I
Mhm.
haven't figured it out yet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and I respect that you're taking your time with it. I think it will be well received, when you do it, and it's better to do things when you want to rather than feeling pressure. Like I know I'm like, oh, you should do it, you should do it,
Yeah,
you should do
yeah,
it, but
yeah,
it's more comes from a place of like, don't let it just sit on a shelf.
true,
Like release it
true.
at some point. Is it would be my final word on that, but I get that. And that's why it's good to have like an action plan. If you want to go bigger budget with it and plan it, okay, we'll look at it differently then. Maybe, okay, I want to do a creative piece. I want to do a visual thing. Okay, who do I know that's a filmmaker? Or you're young. You probably know a lot of students, maybe student filmmakers. Like, there's a lot of things you could do,
Yeah.
and you could get involved with that side of it, and it might even like get you more excited about the project as well. Once you start going down that route, it's like, oh yeah, this would be cool. What about this? What about this? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
like I when I did my music video for Dreaming of Loving You from my album, I did it with my friends, like people I know that I've done films with before, and we had fun. It was fun,
Yeah, yeah.
like we had a basic script for it that my friend Dan wrote, but like I had ideas, he had ideas, we all chipped in. I was like, what about this? What about this? Let's try this. And it was exciting seeing it coming together,
Hmm.
much better than I could have imagined, you know?
Yeah, that's why I need to get back into music being fun because I went to uni, as you know,
Ah, there we
but
go.
this uni kind of made feeling music more like a job. And I was
You,
just like, it wasn't, I mean, obviously I'd like music as a job, but it just felt, they were like, oh, so you got to do this, 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 and this is what we need to hear from you. And I'm like, man, I don't want to do that.
you're not alone in this feeling. There's a lot of people I've spoken to, especially here in Manchester, who've gone to places like BIM. I spoke to a guitarist on the show recently called Leon, and he had a lot of positive things to say about BIM, but he could see where I was coming from,
I know
and he
BIM. I got accepted to BIM, but I decided to go Portsmouth for some reason.
well, hey, look, choices are choices. It made sense to you at the time.
Yeah,
And did you drop out in the end, or did you see
I
it through?
did. Yeah,
You dropped
I
out.
did.
Okay, so it is what it is. You decided it's not for you. You weren't getting what you wanted, and there are different ways of getting into the music industry. It doesn't have to be the degree route, and like a degree can be useful, but then if you're going to commit to something like that, it has to be useful
Mm,
for
for
you
sure.
specifically. You know what I mean? Like if it's
Hmm.
music business, then that's music business. If it's this is to help me become a trained sound engineer, then that's the goal, and it should help you do
Yeah.
that and give you the tools and give you the ability to do that. The main complaint I've heard from places like BIM is that people don't feel like they're learning anything, which
Oh,
argue
yeah.
right,
Exactly how I felt.
exactly, arguably that's like the biggest problem you could have with a degree in general is if you're not
Hmm.
learning, then why am I paying money? What am I doing?
Like there was a one lesson where we learned how to mic up a guitar for 2 weeks, and I'm like, I learned this in college, man. Why am I doing this?
I will say, well, okay. What I will say about that is, like, I remember I did marketing at uni, and the first
Yeah.
year was like a foundation year. And the way they split it up was you didn't do your specialism stuff until the end of the second year, which was a bit odd, but I got it. But it gave you about a year and a half to kind of decide what you want to specialize in and what you want to do and to choose
Yeah.
modules and it was kind of fun in that sense. But I do remember the when it came to the initial stuff, the initial foundation stuff, like yourself, it was stuff I'd learned at GCSE business, very
Yeah.
yeah,
No.
like when I was like year nine, so I was probably like,
I think they do that though to get like a sense of everyone else because everyone there's different. So they're
yeah,
like,
but
oh, you might not have learned this, but everyone else might have.
and that's true, but it is a colossal waste of time because the first
Mm,
year is not even it doesn't even go towards your degree, which I've
exactly.
I've always been frustrated at that. I think that's a crock of shit. It's like no, get me straight in. I don't want to waste time, but whatever,
Yeah,
right?
I'm here. I'm paying money for this year. So
Plus,
come on.
you've got all these like foundation courses that people do, prep for uni, stuff like that. Um, Music is an interesting one as well because you start at GCSE level, you transition to, college level, whatever.
College, yeah.
So by that point, you will have done music, studying music, as well as everything you learn being a musician, being in bands,
Yeah.
like the resources we have now, like you could make yourself so advanced and learn so much just through that process that
Hmm.
it's arguably you can look at a degree and go, is this really worth my time? But let's
Hmm.
say that you're trying to get everything from your time in education. By the time you reach uni, you've been learning for what, like 5 years,
Yeah.
give or take. So, and you're spot on. Like if yeah, all right, they wouldn't teach you that shit at school, but they probably would teach you that at college because those courses are catered for that, and they are only that. You're not going to be, only having like say a 30, 50 minute lesson once a week. You're going to be having like several lessons every week for 2 years. So, and yes, you could ask as well, couldn't you? It's like, I'm sure it's like because it's dedicated study, the teachers would do that. They're probably going to be musicians themselves, or they're going to show you things that go outside of the tutoring or whatever. I, like yourself, found that very frustrating studying business at that level and being like, well, this is the equivalent of like baby steps, and I want to learn new shit. But then there was also like hyper advanced stuff as well that A, I didn't sign up for, and B, I was like, whoa, I need some prep for this. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but I mean, I think, is my 2 cents when it comes to music and learning about music. And I said this to someone who was studying at BIM actually, who was a bit like, oh, I was like, look, you're there. They've got facilities. I was like, can you use them? He's like, yeah. I was like, can you use them for free? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, fucking 3 years, man. Record as much shit as you can.
Yeah, that's what I did. I was like,
Yeah.
I need them studios. They're great.
Yeah. Just use it. Use it. Like, use it and abuse it. Get as much as you can
Yeah.
done.
I think another thing that made me like realize I want to quit was we were in a lesson, and it's not that bad, but the teacher was going over past students' work, and I was like, okay, cool. He plays the songs, and I'm like, these are great, these are amazing. And then he goes, oh, so this person's now a history teacher. Next song, great song. This person's now a bin man. And I'm like, is there any people that came out here with a music career? And he's like, oh, nah. I'm like, whoa, hold on.
Hold up.
That's
Hold
crazy.
up. This was just a general tutor.
Yeah.
What was the classroom's reaction when he said that? Because okay, it's good to
Well,
not.
I never, I know, okay, I'm paraphrasing. He never said, oh, no one came out for a music career, but he didn't show any people that did, which was weird.
Yeah, and also it's a classroom full of kids,
Hmm.
well, young adults, and your point is to show, okay, life after this, where does it go, where does it lead? And yeah, you
Hmm.
shouldn't lie to people. I think it's very
Yeah.
smart to be like, hey, it's going to be tough, and you got to network, and you got to put yourself out there, and it's a hard life being an artist. But to A, not show any positive examples, and B, only focus on the negatives and be like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, this was Joe, 20 years in the game, or like 5 years in the
Yeah.
game. He was playing guitar since he was five, and now he works as a bin man, and he never picked up a guitar again. It's like,
Like, wow, that was soul destroying. I'm like, why am I here?
literally, I mean, that's heartbreaking. I'm like, why doesn't he play guitar anymore? It's absolutely fine if he works full time as a bin man. Fuck yeah, they get paid a lot.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like, what do you mean he doesn't play anymore?
It's
Like,
like,
not even at the
is this where I'm
weekends.
going? Am I going to be a bin man if I stay here? What's going on?
Well, it's like I think with music and creative creators, right? If you have like a full time position and you do it at the weekends or in the evenings and you're happy with that, fucking A. If it's all you want to do and you don't want to take a career, then yeah, it might seem like failure. Like, oh, I ended up as a bit. I mean, I think like careers like bin men and stuff get like really dogged on. Like again,
Yeah,
like I
of
said,
course, of
they
course.
get paid a lot of money.
They do, they do.
Great holiday, great time off. Like maybe I should be a bin man.
Yeah,
Um,
honestly, I'm thinking
oh
about the same
yeah,
thing.
to be honest, but like yeah, because the dog shit jobs we got now, yeah. But
Oh no,
we'll
no.
get into that. Nah, I don't mean it that bad. The places I'm at are all right. Um, they're good. They're good. I feel bad saying that, but it's hard. You have to take on a lot of jobs that you don't want to take on, and sometimes it can really bring you down. And especially if you're talking to kids at school or uni or whatever, you need to give them hope that
Yeah, for sure.
on the other side, even if it is tough, like hey, you can make it work. There's different ways to make it work. You
Yeah,
know,
it
or
just goes back to the luck thing we were talking about as well.
100%, 100%. I've worked every kind of job there is over the years. I've managed to facilitate a life right now where I have flexibility over my time, and I cannot thank the places that I work enough for that. Because it was hard to get to this point. I'm not going to lie, it's unrelenting work working in like hospitality. I've done it all. I've done hospitality, retail, supermarkets, been a barista, been a bartender, been a cleaner, been a maintenance guy, done it all at this point,
Yeah,
plus all the office jobs as well.
yeah,
And it's soul destroying a lot of the time. And you meet a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds that feel exactly the same, but you make the best of what you have. And I think you try to see the positives as well. And
of course.
when I think about times when I've not had, say, flexibility or not been able to do what I like, that's always been made me miserable. Whereas if I'm still able to do it, I can make that work, you know?
Hmm.
Let's talk about it because I think this is worth talking about.
Yeah,
Right now, you're in a bit of a rut from the work position. It's the
yeah,
reason why we're doing the show at this time. Okay.
yeah. Oh, of
You,
course. Yeah, because my
you're
sleep schedule's
right.
all over the place.
So you're doing night shifts
At Tesco, yeah.
Tesco, right? So I've done night shifts before. I've done it in retail, so I know how difficult it is. It's not compatible with what you're doing at this point in your life. So it's time for
Okay.
a switch up.
Hmm.
What led you to that though? Because you could have had like any type of job.
Oh, it's the money. The money's great. I'll tell
So
you that. The money.
okay,
The money's
okay.
good. I don't mind it too much now because I have just been paid, so I'm feeling a little bit better. But yeah, the money is good though. It is good. Those night shift people get so much more.
It's if it's taken that much out of you, it's like it's got to be weighed up. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah, it's just draining because I'm just doing the same thing. Oh, pineapple juice there, cool, nice. Like I don't care. But
yeah. I mean, and this is I think why it's important to have clear cut goals and make progress. You know, like
mm,
if for instance, if you're doing this, but okay, I'm working on this album and it's going to be released at XYZ time, it's like there's more motivation there because it's like, well, I need this money to A, live, and B, pay for this, pay to
yeah,
make this happen. You know, if it's not
yeah,
leaded anywhere, that's when it starts to get a bit, like you're stuck in a rut. And I would say this from experience as well. Like, there's a lot of jobs I've done where because there's not a lot of progress made creatively speaking, I've often felt like the way you feel, and especially right now, like it doesn't make me feel great being this age and not kind of making concrete progress. There is progress,
mm,
but it's not the progress that I want, and it's tough, and it doesn't get any easier if you keep doing these jobs over time. It doesn't matter where you go or what you do, it's always going to kind of be the same vibe. It's just there's slightly better versions of the same thing, but it's not
yeah.
you and
I
it's not your life.
I think it also comes down to the people in the job too, because these night shift people, I mean, bless them, but they all look like they died 5 years ago. These people are like zombies and they don't care just as much as
Yeah,
me.
that's the thing, isn't it? It's that kind of career that I don't see how you could ever really make peace with it long term. Certainly not like night shift. Like I know people that have been doing it for years, sometimes 20 years, and we're not supposed to work night shifts.
Oh no,
We're not
definitely not.
we're not owls. Like you can train your body to do it, But they say this actually about people that work night shifts. Like you, if you're gonna do that in your life, you have to set a certain amount of time that you're gonna do that in your life. You can't do it forever because it will mess you up long term.
Yeah, some people have been there for 20 years. I'm like, wow, 20 years doing these night shifts. It's crazy.
That's what I mean. Like if they're happy, they're happy. But I just can't see how you would be like, especially if you're doing it for 20 years. It's robbing you of life.
Oh, yeah, for
You know what I
sure.
mean? It's robbing you of the chance to have a family, to have flexibility over your life, to it affects everything. Like this the
Hmm.
sleep schedule situation. Like I remember doing it on a very small scale. Like I've done concierge shifts, which is essentially like security at big apartment buildings. So I've done it there. I've done night shifts at supermarkets. I've done like late into the morning shifts in various venues, hospitality over the years. And I've always felt the same, which is that I struggle to stay awake. I start feeling ill around that 2, 3 a.m. mark. And you get home, now you got to go to bed. You're wired from being awake so early. So you won't necessarily go to bed straight away. But if you do, you never get full sleep. You just don't.
No,
You get like 5, 6 hours. And then in 2 hours' time, you got to start all over again. And it's like, fuck this shit.
I know, man. I know. I don't know how people do it for that long, but yeah, I'm already dying and I'm a month in. But they just gave me the uniform and they gave me the discount card. So I'm kind of liking that 15% off everything's not too bad now.
So you think you're gonna stay it out, stuck it out?
Yeah, probably for a few more months. I think so.
Okay.
I need to milk this card they gave me.
Well, I mean, if it works as far as like your current lifestyle and helping you achieve your goals in music, then
Yeah,
maybe it's worth it.
it's okay. I'm finding more balance now. So now I'm going gym and I'm timing
Okay.
stuff. I've started doing YouTube now and
So
just
what are you doing
having
on
days
YouTube?
now. I was going through Reddits and stuff. I don't want to be a YouTuber per se, just to get myself out on more platforms. So I was like, I'll do a bit of YouTube, try and do one a week, try and keep doing these lives. I've been lacking a little bit on them, but
I
yeah,
was gonna say like it, and I've been guilty for this in the past. Like, where's the consistency? I have to say, with the live streams, it makes perfect sense. You're reviewing people's
mm,
music. There's the opportunity to play your music, or at the very least, I think it's sensible. It's like when people can say like, well, what gives you the right to judge? You can be like, well, I'm a producer. I've made my own music. Here's some of my
mm,
music. Here's what I've done. It's like perfect. The content you were doing, I felt was very left field. I was like, okay, I get you're trying to try something new. Is this going to lead to it being connected to everything else, or is it just stuff you want to do and it's just left field and just a bit out
or
there?
what
Like,
content I make on TikTok.
no, YouTube.
Oh,
Or
YouTube.
yeah, it was like I seem to recall there was something like reaction stuff, and I was like, this
Yeah, yeah,
is
yeah. It
random.
was, yeah, it was just random. I was just like, ah, I just want to do it. Just went
Oh,
through this
well, okay,
Reddit.
cool.
I was just like, yeah, why not? Just try something new. Um, yeah, I don't have much to say on that. Just made one video and I thought,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, if it's something you want to do and you'll try something new, then yeah, fuck yeah, they're good.
So
I just,
I've got the tools to do it. So I was like, may as well.
yeah, why not? If you're having fun and it works and it goes somewhere, or you just get something out of it, then hell yeah. I mean, that's why I do the podcast. I don't earn any money from this, but I have been doing it for 5 years. I set myself a goal of 10 years. Just celebrated 5 years, and it's something I do. I do
Yeah.
podcasting, um, and I can't imagine not doing it at this point.
Mm.
I
No, I
don't
love
know.
your podcast. See,
Oh, God
that's the
bless
good
you.
thing
Thank
about
you.
work. I can listen to your podcasts at work, so it's great. I've listened
That's
to so
crazy.
many of them.
Really?
The one with the New York copper, great. That was so
That was a
good.
fun episode. Yeah.
His stories were amazing.
Oh God, I can't imagine listening to my voice at 3 a.m. Man.
It's
Fuck
great,
that.
man.
I'm glad that my guests speak more than me because I wouldn't wish my voice on anyone at 3 a.m.
No, it's great. And the maladaptive dreaming, I think I said that right. Great one as well.
that was episode 81. That was a trip, man. I loved doing that episode. That was cool. I love every episode of this show. You go through. Well, we were talking about falling in and out of love with music. It's something that
Hmm.
happens often when you're doing podcasting, especially when you're not earning from it. But I've always gotten something out of it. Like I've always, even if it doesn't feel like it's going anywhere, it's like I love making a new episode. I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
just keep doing it, and I love
yeah.
getting
No, they're
to a,
great.
what I mean, like getting to a point where you can just have an effortless conversation.
Yeah, and you're consistent with them too, which I
Oh,
can
God bless you,
respect.
man. Thank you.
Well
Like
done.
I try. I mean, I think if you're gonna do something, you got to make it consistent. Um, Otherwise, it becomes erratic. Have I missed weeks in the past? Absolutely. It's not always been 100%. I'd say it's like a batting average of like 90%. It's like, you know, it's been fairly consistent every week for 5 years.
Hmm.
Um, and I've gone through a lot in those 5 years. I'm currently going through a lot, but I'm like, I have to keep doing this, man. I love it's a few hours of your time every week. And I often like I record them ahead of time. I mean, it's not that difficult. You just talk to people. You do a bit of
Yeah,
research. You come prepared, and then you just let the conversation do its thing. And who knows? You know, who knows?
it's great, man. It's great.
So, what would you say? Like, is your main kind of goal with music? Like, obviously, you're going to get this album out at some point, but what are you trying to achieve? Like, what's the ultimate goal for you?
I think I did say this to you in a live, just comfortability in the music industry. If I can just make music, you know, the my whole job, so to speak, then that'd be great. It doesn't have to be famous, top level, whatever. If I just have a few shows and I'm getting paid and I can pay rent with music, then I'm good.
I do remember you telling me this, and I remember asking you this, and
Hmm.
it's funny because I have the same exact goal as you. And it changed. It used to be that I was very like, oh, I want to. I don't think I ever consciously thought I want to be famous, but I recognize I was definitely like, I want to be recognized or at
Yeah, I
least
mean,
like
it's gonna be nice. Yeah,
appreciated.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
appreciated. I think would be a
Hmm.
better like. I've always wanted to just get like a little bit of success and be like,
Yeah,
so I could prove to myself and maybe a few others like, hey, I can do it. Like, I think
yeah.
that's a big thing for me.
I'm sure a
But
lot of people feel that way. Not even musicians as well. I think a lot
sure,
of people feel that way now.
yeah, but like I don't think I've ever thought like, oh, I want to be a mega star. I want to be like mega
Oh
rich.
yeah,
Like, I it's like, and especially as I've gotten older, I'm like, I'd just be happy just doing this for a living. If I just didn't have to wake up in the morning and think, oh, I have to go to this job I hate. Oh, I have to do this for several hours. And it is like I went to work today, and today wasn't even a difficult day. It was hard grafting,
hmm,
but it was doing something that I don't enjoy, and you just get on with it. Like I've gone through every emotion now, frustration, anger, sadness, every emotion, and now it's just something I have to do. So you just
yeah,
get through it. But it doesn't change the fact that it's like, especially when you've had a taste of what it feels like to do what you love.
hmm,
I think
hmm,
that changes it too. It's like, or you see people doing bits, and you're like, and yeah, comparison is the thief of joy. But when you see that progress, and you're like, okay, they're making progress, I'm not. What am I doing wrong? Why is it not working for me? And that goes back to
hmm,
our luck conversation. It's like you might have all the tools, but maybe the universe has not decided the time for you yet, or maybe it's decided, but it's just not in the cards quite yet. And it's like,
yeah,
but when? When
yeah,
can it be
exactly.
the time, man?
I know, man. I know.
When? But I
Time
think
will tell.
it's yeah. There you go. It's an admirable goal, I think, and a well-adjusted goal, I think, to have. Because often the people that want to be like mega famous are doing it for the wrong reasons. I think. Um,
Yeah.
I think when you look at people that are mega successful in this field, big artists, I think it kind of goes to their head in a way that's not healthy. Like not everyone,
Yeah.
you get
Yeah,
like your
yeah.
Lewis
They can get
Capaldis.
egos and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get normal people like Lewis Capaldi, and it's like, all right, cool. So not everyone's a dick.
Yeah, oh, Lewis Capaldi, I love him. He's so funny. I
Such
just heard him
a
on Theo Von's podcast the other day.
oh, it's so good, so good.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was quite a conversation. Although I didn't understand why Theo kept trying to do a Scottish accent. That was a bit weird.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know if he
That
was
was pretty
consciously
funny.
aware that he was doing it. He was
I
just
think he does that with a lot of guests when they've got accents. He kind of,
why? Is
I
it
don't know.
conscious?
I don't know. Maybe he's trying to fit in. I don't know.
Fit in
He's
Scotland.
trying to be relatable,
Scotland.
maybe. Scotland. I'm
Scotland.
actually Scottish as
Scottish.
well.
Are you really?
I am actually Scottish. Yeah.
I never would have guessed that. Where in
No one
Scotland are you
at
from?
Glasgow, pal.
From fucking Glasgow.
I'm from Glasgow.
When did you
Yeah.
move?
Oh man. I mean, I was born there, lived lived there till I was like 2. So my mum's got a strong accent. My dad's from Liverpool though.
Wow.
So yeah. So and I've lived down south for so long, so my accent's really jumbled. So this is probably why people think I'm sort of American, and it's
I
my accent
just
doesn't make sense.
I had you pegged as a southerner, yeah, like maybe London or like somewhere south of that even. What?
Yeah, and
What?
when I'm talking to my family, the Scottish comes out like
Yeah.
a lot more. Um, but yeah, and then I lived in Denmark as well.
Mad.
Yeah,
Tell me
for
about
like
that.
a bit. That was great. I went to preschool in Denmark, and we had this like basically everyone in Denmark just lives on the countryside. It's so green there, but it was really cool. We lived next to Legoland. I like that.
Can you remember any Danish? Do you speak Danish?
Uh, Abla, which is apple. That's it. Oh, and hello, which is hello.
Wow.
There you go. I know that's it. That's it. When I moved to the UK, though, the teachers had to put on shows in Danish for me, which was weird. But then I
What?
just learned English. I didn't get it, but they were just like, "Oh no, he just came from Denmark. Put on it in Danish." I was like, "Okay, all right."
That brought back the weirdest fucking memory for me for some reason. Okay, so I'm in GCSE German. It's like around Christmas time, and the teacher would force us to watch the first episode of The Simpsons in German
All right, yeah,
every time, every year, it seemed.
fair.
And it's like, why can't we just watch it in English? It was really weird. Why couldn't you just do subtitles or something? Like
Yeah.
so we just had to watch it in German, and I don't know, it was just really fucking odd. And he had a real issue with us watching it in English or the having the subtitles. I'm like, but this is how people watch foreign media. Like,
Hmm.
like I watched Squid Game with subtitles. I was like, I refuse to listen to that audio dub. No, like,
Oh, really?
yeah, I
You
hate
got?
all that. I hate all
Oh, you
that.
like to authentic, like to
Yeah,
watch it.
and well, I
Okay,
like to
all
hear
right.
the actual actors' voices, and I don't want to hear some English guy going like, "I've played these games before."
Yeah, yeah.
Well, like, I remember
No, fair enough.
I remember being abroad and seeing Game of Thrones like dubbed in Russian, and I just ruined it for me. I was like, "This is
Jeez.
hilarious!" Like this. I mean, look, the voice actors do a good job; they do their best,
Yeah.
but some of them are terrible, and there's no attempt to really sound like the character, and it's like, oh, this is painful. This
Yeah,
is
well, as a voice actor, I can imagine that's infuriating.
well, not even. I just, as a listener, I'm just offended.
Oh, fair. I mean,
I
I
mean,
listen to
as
it
a,
dubs because I just can't listen to it in the
I
normal
fair enough,
way.
man. To each their own. It's not, it's not. I'm not like a pineapple and pizza guy. I'm not like fighting and going fuck you. I'm like, if you want
Yeah,
to
yeah,
put that
yeah,
on there, fine, but just don't give it to
yeah.
me. Well, like worst case scenario, I'll just pick that shit off. You know what I mean? I don't care.
Yeah, what did you think of Squid Game though? It was good, wasn't it? I finished it all.
Mm, did I enjoy it? Yes.
But
Um, I think for me it depends on what they do next. If this is
oh well,
it,
yeah,
if this is
it's gonna
it,
be yeah.
then terrible.
Do you
like
think?
oh,
But
well, see the whole. Okay, spoilers
okay.
for everyone. Spoilers. But if you've not what, okay, if you've not seen all of Squid Game, then stop listening right now.
Yep.
Okay, this is not for you. You've seen it.
Yeah,
You've
of
seen
course,
it.
of course.
But
Yeah,
for
yeah,
anyone who has not seen Squid Game, stop watching and listening now. Go watch all three seasons and then come back and keep listening to this podcast.
good, good, good.
Yeah, because spoilers. So here you go. Um, the whole fucking point was him trying to expose this, and yeah, maybe it was a fool's errand, and you kind of felt like I thought he'd be killed off. I didn't. Him killing himself on his own terms. I thought was poetic and cool. I dug it. I liked the fucked up scenario of like, no, I'm not gonna play for your entertainment. Fuck you. I'm not. I'm
Hmm.
definitely not gonna kill this baby. Fuck you.
Yeah,
And it was awesome. And he went out and like, and him doing that. And I remember the shot to the VIPs and then back to him. I thought was quite powerful. It was like the ultimate fuck you and like I am above you. And it really
yeah,
you felt that, you
yeah, yeah,
know.
yeah.
But then just the ending was so disappointing because it's like yeah, the guy like does the right thing by the daughter and stuff. I also thought it was kind of fucked up that he gave the dead clothes of it like there's blood stains on it and shit. And it's
Yeah,
like that's
weird.
messed. I would have just been like, oh, I would have lied and been like, oh, your father, you know, left this to you, inheritance, whatever the
Yeah,
fuck. That don't tell them how it happened. Jesus.
yeah,
Or like give him bloody stained clothes. Like, yeah, these are the clothes your dad died in. Fantastic. But whatever. I guess it keeps in theme with how fucked up it is because it's quite a fucked up world they're in, and I
it
get
is.
it. Like,
Yeah.
there's no like good guys per se, other than like some of the cops. But obviously our main guy, 456. I can't remember his Korean name, but he, in a way, it kind of felt like he died in vain.
Mm,
Like he died for nothing. Like he didn't save any. He saved a baby,
yeah,
which is admirable and maybe poetic in a way. But
yeah. But
ev-
there was people online going, "Hey, if that was me, I would have chucked the baby down the side."
that's just fucked up. And I don't believe anyone. Only the messed up people would
Yeah,
like
yeah.
think that way. But I did kind of look at it like, what the fuck? Like that guy he was facing off against was like really gonna do that, and like he had to stop him from doing. And I'm like, because I can't remember who said it, but they really did think like, and even he said it to him. He was like, "Really, you're gonna kill me and baby so that
Yeah.
you can go away and just with all the money? Are you fucked in the head?" But like, I don't know. It kind of, in a way, I like the psychology of it because like it really broke down like maybe there are just people out there that completely lack empathy, and it's all like you really do kind of get the feeling that all these people taking part are deplorable, and not all of them, but certainly the people towards the end that got through to the last minute that would do anything that it takes to win. They
Yeah.
are like the worst of the worst, and it's not even like they're evil. They're just kind of like just morally unjust. Like I remember there was
Yeah.
a point just before when they were all kind of like saying, talking to him and being like, oh, and then one of them goes like, oh, you know, I'm a father too. I have children. I understand. And I'm like thinking about that first. I'm like, imagine you go through this. Somehow you survive. You pay
Yeah.
off your gambling debts. You go see your family. You've done some fucked up, deplorable shit to do that. Like, how can you live with yourself? It's like, do you know what I mean? Like, I
Hmm.
don't see how you could ever live a normal life again after having done
Oh
that.
yeah.
And with 456, like the bit where he decides like not to kill all those people in their sleep, like it was awesome because it was like, yeah, this isn't you. Like you're the good guy. You
Mm.
fucked up, but you never was that. You were never that guy. You were a guy who made some mistakes with gambling, which is
Yeah, and
forgivable.
the front man was kind of on his side, right? Is this what I remember?
Well, yeah,
Something like
because
that.
it made, yeah, I liked that detail because the front man had like you saw why he is this person.
Hmm.
He was pushed to it by the previous owner of the game, and he was in the games, which I thought was, great detail, and he was pushed to that. But it does also beg the question: okay, he became the front man because why? Because he gave up on humanity. The ending almost suggests like maybe it saved his faith in humanity, maybe. But then you've got that ending scene where it's like, okay, the game's happening in America, it's worldwide, which almost like I think emphasizes maybe why, because a lot of people have the issue of, oh, he died in vain, it's a shit ending, what was the point? He died for nothing. And
I
it's
did
like,
want him to survive. I'll be
I,
real.
I wanted him to survive, but not like if he'd have died later or died destroying Squid Game, I think that would have been great. But it's like his efforts were all for nothing.
Mm.
Like here's the breakdown of the ending. Like the island gets exposed, so Squid Game career is over then unless they find another place to do it. But it gets exposed. VIPs seemingly escape. Everyone escapes. They have a contingency plan in place. Frontman definitely escapes, goes to America,
Hmm.
does his thing. Everyone escapes, and no one faces retribution. No one faces punishment. It's just all the bad guys escape and win and live to see another day. Yeah, a bunch of people die, but like not like the people responsible don't get away with it. They just get to live. And I
Yeah.
think maybe that's why people were so upset because it's like the bad guys win, and the ending sort of implies, okay, this is an international thing. The
Yeah. There's
scale
going to be
was,
more.
yeah, and the scale was so much bigger than we realized. I feel like the only way you could really salvage it and make 456's death mean something would be if the front man is now our lead character and tries to destroy it internationally or something like that, or
That'd be quite good.
there's like an attempt to try and destroy Squid Game.
Yeah,
If
because I'm seeing they've got the Squid Game universe here, so they are making more. They got Squid Game USA, Squid Game 1987 would be cool. I think that's the first Squid Game. They're going to go back to that.
Interesting. Okay, so they're going to
And
build lore. That's cool.
yeah, there's Squid Game World. No idea what that's going to entail. And then Squid Game 2.8. So these are the things
Okay.
they're releasing.
Well, that's cool. A wider universe is cool, but I do think it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out because obviously a lot of the fun will be kind of like Saw, like in the sense that all the different games, how are they going to do it in different
Yeah.
countries.
Yeah. Yeah.
It will be interesting to see which actors play in it. So definitely there'll be some intrigue from that point. But part of the brilliance of Squid Game was it was not all just about people playing this fucked up game. It's also about like an attempt to try and derail it, destroy it. Like I thought in these two seasons, this whole idea of the democratic vote was an interesting concept and how they explored that. And you could tell that it was something that they had not encountered before and they had to kind of bring in because of player 456.
Yeah.
And the one question that was left unanswered, which I always wonder about, is okay, if they'd have all voted to leave, would they have actually let them leave?
Ooh, yeah, because of that, we never found that out.
They said because they made a lot of shit up on the fly. They were quite happy for people to kill each other in the first game,
Hmm.
and they almost encouraged it a lot of the time. In the second game, still right to the end, they encouraged death. But then there's a final point where they were like, "You're no longer allowed to kill each other." But
Yeah.
they said like you're no longer allowed to kill each other, like as in when you're in the in between stages between games. But during the games, those last few games, they were actively the final game. They're literally encouraged to kill each other and decide how they do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's consistent. Obviously, in Squid Game 1, it was down to the two of them. But also, I do think as well, the games are designed in a way where they want everyone to die. They want it to come down to just one person.
Yeah, because it's
Because
like, what's the what was I saying? The people like can bet money on these people. It's all a game to other people.
exactly,
That's what
yeah,
they're
and
that's what they're
that's
playing for.
right, and that's the whole point. They're trying to make a point of okay, this is a fucked up game of humanity, and people are watching, and obviously 456 makes a big speech and makes a point of that, and that's cool, and that was heroic, but I feel like it just all it really comments on is the worst sides of humanity and how this game is so much is undefeatable, bigger than you can imagine. No one ever kind of receives retribution or like karma or anything. Just people die and that's it. And there's people who get caught in the crossfire, unfortunately, and it's I don't know. It was quite an empty feeling watching that, to be honest. Like I thought it was excellent. I didn't understand why people were so upset. Like I think people just get sentimental. They get behind a character, and
Yeah.
it's difficult to let
Oh, for
go.
sure.
I understand that, but again, the story's not over, so there's that. Although we've kind of been invested in these Korean characters,
Yeah.
we've only got frontman and I don't know if the detective survived. I can't remember now. Did he survive?
He,
He did.
yeah. He
That
did.
was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, it was all like fucking happy days. Like, like, oh, what are you going to do with your life now? Ha ha ha. I'm not going to be a cop anymore. I'm like, after all that, you're not going to be a
Yeah.
cop anymore. You're just going to let it go.
Mental.
You didn't catch your brother disappeared, everyone got away. You're not going to like pursue this, chase this, I'd be obsessed. I'd make it my lifelong fucking
Yeah.
mission
Yeah.
to like
Same.
bring this organization down, and as much as it takes, if I'd have to die to do it, I'll do it. Like,
Yeah.
because it's taken everything from you. It's taken your own
Hmm.
brother from you. Surely that's worth investigate. That's another thing. I can see actually when I think about it, I can see why people were annoyed. There's a lot of reasons to be annoyed. Maybe
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
only like positive, real true positive is the little girl gets reunited with her father and survives. Like that's fucking awesome. And oh,
Yeah.
and the guard, the female guard gets to be reunited with her daughter. That was fucking cool as well. So there was some
Yeah.
positives, but
I wonder if the baby is going to be in the game, or she's going
now
to find out about the
that
games.
is interesting. That'd be
That'd
a
be
cool
great.
twist. Yeah, it'd have to be set in the future though.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
actually, we don't know how old the girl is. It's
True.
not. It's not actually stated how old the prison guard is probably mid 20s or early 30s. It's hard to say. Like Koreans, Asians, they always look so young. It's impossible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they're like they could be 20, could be 50. Who knows? Um, but yeah, I don't. I'm quite invested in them because I think Korean cinema and TV shows are incredible. They always have been, and I knew Squid Game was going to be good because I'd just seen so much Korean cinema over the years that I was like,
Yeah.
when I heard the hype, I was like, oh, it's made in Korea. Oh, that explains a lot. Like and the concept is unique. Like I've not seen a lot of stuff that's similar to this. The closest thing I can compare it
Yeah.
to maybe is Saw, but I feel like
Yeah. I love
in
Saw.
right, same here, but they lost us after like they killed Jigsaw because it just became silly after that.
They killed him off like 5 times already, and then he kept coming back.
Well, it was prequels, wasn't it?
No, what did you watch? What was the latest one? Saw X?
Yeah.
Did you see that one? I think he thought he had cancer, and then he went to this hospital and they tried to cure him, but they were fake curing him just to take his money and then actually killing him off. And then
So
he trapped them all.
that would have been set in because he dies in like Saw 4, if I remember correctly. It's
He's
Saw
always
3 or Saw
dying.
4. No, but he legit died in 3 or 4. He had cancer, he was on a bed, he died. That was it. And they here's what lost me. I can't believe like that. We're getting nerdy about that. Fuck yeah, man! I love this. So they kill him off really early, and Saw 1 through 3 were genuinely good. Like Saw 2 was the house. Saw
Yeah,
3
one and two were great.
and 3 had like some interesting shit in it. But then 4 is the beginning of the imposters, as in people copycats. But they're it transpires they're trained by Jigsaw. But the problem is Jigsaw's traps always enabled you to escape. You could always escape. There was always a chance you could.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
his apprentices, some of them survived. We understand that the cop and the girl, I can't remember her name, they both survive, and they
yeah.
become copycats. But in their traps, once Jigsaw has died, as you know, it happens when he's still alive. I think they're using his traps, but they rig them so that you can't escape. So people are just destined to
Oh
die.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And I hated that narrative because I was like, well, the whole point of this is that there's always a chance they can survive, and there's no lesson to be learned for them. As fucked up as Jigsaw is,
yeah.
he at
There is some of them
least
are rigged.
he at least like gives you a chance to get out, and it's explained how as well. It's always explained, or you always realize. Like the big one for me was in Saw 2 when the woman realizes, like, she's given loads of her blood, and she realizes if they'd have all helped each other out, they could have just donated a little bit of blood and they all would have
Yeah,
survived. But she has to give like more pints than she can, and she dies doing it. And it's like
yeah,
that's a classic example of how human selfishness and panic leads to consequences.
yeah,
This is clever, but yeah, killing off Jigsaw in 3 or 4 was a head scratcher to me because I was like, well, okay, it's fine if you have copycats that continue his work, but they're not continuing his work. They're ruining it. He's dead. That's it. So they continue doing these copycats. And I would, after a few of those, they worsened in quality. So I was like, oh, what's the point? And then I
yeah.
I hear about, oh, they've brought him back, and I'm like, well, he died, so then no, they haven't. And they were prequels, weren't they? They were either set before.
I didn't think they were. I didn't know they were prequels, but I guess they were.
They have to be. He was dead. You can't resurrect him unless we're gonna retcon it
But
and
they
he
just
never
kept killing
died.
him off, and he kept. Oh, he's back! Oh, here's
I mean,
another
I
movie.
don't know. I've not seen past like 5, so or 6, I think it
Okay,
was. So for me, if they did bring him back and retcon him like it's fucking Star Wars or something, like he just came back from the dead, then fine. But I understood it to be that they were prequels. I guess we have to fact check that. Let me know.
yeah.
It just seems weird if they did bring him back because it's like, y'all, you died, dude. Like what?
Like, come on, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Or it's like, oh, it was his evil twin brother. I mean, I don't know. They do it in soap operas where they just like someone definitely died, and then it's like, oh, it was all a dream.
Yeah, those kind of horror movies are like my favorite ones. The ones that are kind of real stuff, like what's the Insidious? It's not scary because it's not real. I mean, you could argue ghosts and stuff and paranormal activity is real, but the stuff that feels more real, like Saw, could happen in real life.
Yeah.
It could, you know what I mean?
Well,
And that makes me scared. So that's a good horror movie.
it's the same
But
with
it's more of a
Squid.
thriller though. But yeah,
It's the same with Squid Game. I have to say,
yeah.
the first time I saw Squid Game, one of the first thoughts I had was, if this isn't happening now, it has happened at some point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This has happened. Maybe not in that way, but definitely people have paid to watch other people suffer, and because the world is a fucked up place, folks.
Yeah.
Um, then I read, what do you think about this? I read about, and it might even be, maybe that's what they're basing 1987 on, but supposedly Squid Games actually happened in real life. Supposedly it's based loosely on a true story, and the story put out there, initially it was, oh, it's happened, but then it transpired that maybe it was like workers that were supposed to go to like an internment camp or like a prison camp or something were put in these games to determine if they had to work in a prison camp or not, or do hard labor. So they weren't killed, but they did have to do hard labor if they lost the games or something like that. And
Yeah.
there's like these old murky photos of what looks very much like the set of the current Squid Games. To be fair, it could be AI generated, but it
Yeah.
looks. It doesn't look like an AI generated photo. It looks like old murky photos of an abandoned stairwell that's multicolored. Looks a lot like the Squid Games one. What say you? You seem to. I don't feel like you might know something about this.
No, I have heard of it. I've not seen the photos though, but yeah, like you said, I'm sure Squid Game has happened or something like it. Yeah,
100%. I mean,
so has.
oh, I got to talk to you about this. What did you think about the really shitty acting of the American actors?
Oh, yeah, in season three.
All of
Oh
them. I
man,
thought in the first season as well.
I don't remember them in the first.
They were in the
I
first.
remember
Different
them in the
actors, but
yeah. That was really weird. I just they had
so
some weird energy about them.
so here's the thing, right? Um, for those who don't know, I am an actor as well. I've made films for many years. I have filmmaking friends, friends that I make films with. Shout out to Giuseppe and Dan McGee. We made a film recently together called A Quick Pint Before the End of the World, and
Oh, that's
it
such a sick name.
have a
I like
look.
that.
It's on YouTube. Check it out. See if you like it.
Will do.
So we did that film, and we did a little screening for it as part of like a little mini screen filming, a short film thing that happens regularly here in Manchester. So we all met up, we watched it, we watched other films, and there was some good ones, there were some bad ones. Among the bad ones, there was one. I'm sorry if this is your film, but it was terrible. There was a film called Nothing Happens. And I think you might appreciate this. It was literally 10 minutes of a sound engineer doing sound checks at various gigs and just loads of close ups of his face. And it was really fucking infuriating.
That's it. That's it.
That was it. And the film was called Nothing
Jeez.
Happens. And I sent it to my friend because we talk about the good ones, talk about the bad ones. And he was just as pissed off as I was. He was like, what the fuck was that? And I was like, yeah, what the fuck was that? Nothing
Wow.
happened. And that was what the film
Jeez.
was called. I feel like maybe it was an experiment in pissing people off. And if that's true, it
Maybe.
worked.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe it
Fair.
was a fly in the wall thing, but it sometimes there were shots that I could have sworn were used several times. And he would just be like looking off in the distance and you could tell that he was sound checking something. And it also just got me thinking about just doing sound checks as a sound engineer and like what that's actually like. And it's just
Yeah.
a pain in the ass. It can be great, don't get me wrong, but it's sometimes it's just a lot of work. And
Yeah.
I don't know, I just found it annoying. So that's the thing. Anyway, we were watching these films and talking, and we ended up talking about Squid Game. And I
Mhm.
asked my friend Giuseppe, "What do you make of these actors?" And we got into this whole conversation. I can't remember exactly what he thought, but I do remember just going down the rabbit hole of talking about bad acting and how it can pull you out of it. Because I think the acting in Squid Game from all of the Korean actors is phenomenal. All of these
Yeah.
actors, I know a lot of them are famous in Korea and are career actors, but absolutely fucking phenomenal. Everyone that was Korean in that series, you should be very proud of yourselves. You're incredible actors. I was gripped the whole time. I was they really made you invested. I was a bit concerned going into second season. Like, can you really be as invested as the first season? We were really invested, more
Yeah.
invested. I
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
more invested this time, and the stakes were higher, and it built it up in a way I couldn't have anticipated. It would truly they did a fantastic job. But these American actors, man, it's like they had this big budget. They had this great concept. Fun fact about Squid Game 1, they didn't have the budget that they obviously had with second and the third as far as like marketing. They did no marketing for Squid Game 1. They didn't really need to. Everyone found out about it during COVID. It was a phenomenal success. And obviously, when it came to do season 2 and season 3, it's like, okay, we've got money. People are into this. Let's go all out with the marketing. And they did. And that was even more of a success because now you see the people behind the characters and they're fucking sweethearts, and they're having fun with that as well, and they're all so gorgeous and lovely and just fun, and it's you just get a real insight into Korean culture as well, and it's just a lot of fun to be had there, right? But all of that, and then you got these American actors, and I'm sorry if you were in this and you were part of that acting troupe, but the script for them was the shits, their acting was the shits. It pulls you out of it completely. It felt like I went from watching a Hollywood A-list movie to like a shitty student film, and I'm like, what the fuck happened?
Oh
What
man,
happened?
I watched the worst film ever. It was called In a Violent Nature.
Okay.
Man, it was in cinemas. I don't even know why. The whole thing
I
was
don't even know
just
why.
I really don't.
I
It was basically just this monster walking through the woods for an hour, 30 minutes, and I'm not exaggerating.
think I might have
It
heard
was
about
just
this. Is this recent?
it's yeah, yeah, last year or something.
Okay.
Oh man, I so many people left the cinema. It was so bad.
Okay, break it down for me. When you say he's walking, or the monster, sorry, is walking around in the woods for an hour and a half. So does he kill anyone? What
He
happens?
kills a few people, but then it's just a shot the back of his head just walking for half an hour, and then he kills someone. The whole thing, it doesn't cut. It's no cuts. The whole thing is just walking. You can watch the trailer and you've basically watched the whole movie. It's the reviews on it were the funniest thing I ever read.
That's insane.
And I was like, why is this
Was there
why
any
is this out?
big actors in it, like famous actors,
No,
or
no,
a
no.
big
It was like
budget?
a college student film. That's what it
You saw this
seemed
at
like to me.
cinema,
Yeah,
a
I'm not
college
lying.
film in the cinema.
It looked like it was made by like some college students. There was no famous actors or anything.
As in, like they tried to like recreate the Blair Witch Project or something.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. But oh man,
Weird.
I'm getting up the reviews because it's
I mean, because to get to the point where it's going to be out in the cinema, it has to be like of a certain quality. Because there's
Mm,
like standards, isn't there? Like, think of it all, like obviously certain films, get bombed. I mean, like Snow White did badly, but it was still like some people enjoyed it. It was still watchable. There was still a storyline. Like it wasn't just like a fucking 2 hour shot of Snow White's face. Like it was this, that stuff happened.
yeah.
You can't
Someone
just
said here, yeah, 99% of the movie is just walking painfully slow through the woods from the killer's POV. That's it. That's what someone said here. It's so bad. Zero suspense, someone said as well.
zero suspense. That's terrible for a
The
horror film.
the characters were instantly forgettable.
Yeah, sounds
It's
about right.
amazing. Um, but
Wow.
yeah, definitely I don't recommend that to anyone, not even my worst enemy.
Jesus Christ. Oh my god. So we've been talking for 2 hours,
Oh
and
wow.
we've moved so far away from talking about you. I feel terrible, but also like I feel like I've had a really good conversation with you as
Yeah, I
well.
know. I've loved this. This is great.
I don't know what the listeners are going to make of this. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll round it off. I'll ask you a couple of final questions, and then if people
Okay,
want to
yeah.
follow up, we'll delve into you and we'll see like what people are saying.
Yeah.
But this is a great sign. Definitely, we can do follow up stuff.
Oh yeah, I'd love to.
Me too, man. I'm always like looking out for people that would love to come back on the show. And it's good to know we can just talk about anything. Great.
Yeah, yeah. I'm literally up for any conversation.
Hell yeah. What has music taught you about life?
Ooh. Wow, I don't even know. That's a very, very good question. Oh no, you answer the question first and I'll
Me?
see. Yeah,
What? No,
you answer the yeah,
that's not how
you
this
answer the
works,
question.
mate. You
Yes, it
can't.
is. Yes, it
No,
is. Yes,
no,
it
you
is.
can't just flip the script on me, man. I'm not prepared. What has music taught me about life?
Mm,
Well, fuck me. Music has taught me
it's a tough question.
that it is essential to always be yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not music is not the only thing that's taught me that, but like so much of being on stage and writing and performing music is about learning to let go and just fully embrace what you're doing. Like the best performances I've ever had have been where I wasn't even consciously thinking about it anymore. I just let go and I felt it, you know? Like I've
Hmm.
noticed over the years, like I often don't look at what I'm playing on the guitar. It's pretty common. It's not that difficult. It's like hand-eye coordination. It's not it's like same as,
Yeah.
playing games, right? But not only am I not looking, but I feel it, and I know other musicians have the same thing where it's like you can be on stage and maybe you're jamming and you just feel whatever's going on. But a good example of watching this in real time is there's a performance, I've mentioned this on the show before, by Prince at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And there's a big like super group. It's like a who's who of musicians. And they're doing While My Guitar Gently Weeps. And like George Harrison's son's there in the back playing like bass or guitar or some shit. And like I said, who's who? Prince, as I understand, was snubbed for an award or something like top guitar, 100 guitarist, top 100 rock and roll star, something like that. And like, how
Yeah.
could you ever snub Prince? Like, if you know anything about Prince, other than his fantastic music, is he he had a band, right? He always had a band, and he would always be better than everyone in the band at playing their individual instruments. He was better than all of them. And he was always humble. He'd never like talk to people like shit, but just know if you were in a band with Prince, he was better than you.
Yeah.
But it was because he was such a student of his craft and just very meticulous and had a vision. He was kind of like an artist, a painter, but in music form. Wow, I'm a massive fan of Prince. Apparently, I only know a few songs, but that's how I see him.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
he did this performance, and the backstory is that they might have done like a little rehearsal for it. It was known that he was going to do a solo and stuff like that, but you can tell from the way he communicates on stage with them that a lot this is mostly improvised. He's looking for signs of when to go, and he doesn't ever overdo anything in the solo. Like he does what's appropriate for the piece. It's like the definition of watching playing to the song in real time. Because
Hmm.
a lot of guitarists get this wrong and they overdo it, or they're just playing for themselves or whatever. I never felt like Prince did that. Like he always played for the song and played what was appropriate for the song. He had fun, but he made it work for the song. And if you watch that solo, it's like he's fully in tune with the musicians on stage. He's making it work, but he's also making a point. This was a fuck you to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. This was like I don't need your fucking award. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I am the greatest. And it was like, oh, it's so great. He just does it. He just feels the music. He plays the solo. He fucking nails it. And then he just
Yeah.
throws his guitar. Someone catches it, but he throws it and he's like, stage, walk out, done. And he
Yeah.
doesn't do it
What a
in a
ledge.
sassy. He doesn't do it in a sassy way. He's not like a bitch about it. He's respectful. It's just
Yeah.
kind of like a. That's all I need to say about that. And
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
like
Well, yeah. I can answer the
magnifique.
question. I can answer the question. What was the question again? What has music taught me about life?
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Just probably it's going to be cheesy and cringy, but
Mm-mm,
we're going to
mm-mm.
go with it. But it just brings everyone together because everyone likes music. If you don't like music, you're a bit of an odd one, but fair enough. But uh, everyone has to like some form of music, doesn't matter what genre. And I think, and I truly think this, every single person you meet, at least you're going to like one song together. I
Now
think there's
that's
always going to be that.
there's a lot you've picked up on there that I want to explore real quick. I totally agree with you. It does bring people together. Sometimes more than people realize. Music can save people.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It really can. It can
Can
change
bond
lives.
people as well. But problem with bonding over music can be quite dangerous because let's say you bonded over this artist with someone, and then now you don't like this person. Now you're going to struggle to listen to that artist again
100%.
and that
Yeah.
song.
There are
And that
certain songs
sucks.
I find difficult to listen to because of
Yeah.
that. And that's just the importance that we place on nostalgia, really, isn't it? And feelings and emotions.
Hmm.
You can say the same of places and
Yeah.
times in your life and stuff like that. And often we put a lot into very little, but we make it mean a lot, you know.
For sure.
And with what you were saying about how there are oddballs that don't like music, and I've met people like that over the years.
That's crazy.
Well, I don't know because I think to not like music at all is pretty special. I wouldn't criticize those people. I would just say I do find it odd,
Mm.
but not because I'm like you have to be a music fan. I just think that like anything in life, there are different levels. There are people that don't watch films. Fair enough. It's
Yeah.
a lot to sit through. 2 hours of your life. I get it. Maybe you're more into series. Maybe you're just more into like outdoor sports and fishing and whatever the fuck. Like everyone
Yeah.
has their interests in life. But music is one of those where it's like it's quick and there's so many
Yeah.
options. Do you know what I mean? There's 3 minute
Exactly.
songs, there's
Yeah.
20-minute extravaganzas, like, and it's the soundtrack to your life. Like it's the I can think of so many things in life that you really need music to get by with. Maybe it's
Yeah.
mundane work. Maybe it's a hard time in your life. Maybe it's just partying with your friends. Maybe it's that long ass fucking 3 hour road trip you got to do. Really?
Yeah.
Nothing? Silence? You can do it in
Or the
silence?
8 hour Tesco night shift,
Yeah,
you know? So,
exactly. Yeah, it's not all going to be podcasts, is it? Sometimes you just, all
exactly.
right, I got Blitz this hour. Let's listen to some
Mm.
fucking deep cuts. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it's is whatever. It could be a journey. And there's so many different types of music out there, like different genres, concept albums, like so many
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
types of things out there. And if nothing else, it's an interesting thing you can listen to
Yeah.
that makes you feel a certain way. Like there's music I've listened to and still listen to that I struggle not to cry or I just start weeping because it's
Yeah.
just so beautiful or it hits you in a certain way that
Like goosebumps sometimes with certain songs.
exactly. Like there's a guy he's been on the show, AM. He's a
Yeah.
musician. Every time I've seen him perform, I have cried.
Wow. Every
Every
time.
every single time.
He must be a great artist then.
I've
That's
seen him.
amazing.
Yeah, he's fucking incredible. I've seen him
Wow.
play probably like 10 times, and every single time I've either outright just cried or I've struggled to hold back tears. There was one time recently I really held it. I tried to hold it. I just let it go. In the end, I was deeply uncomfortable, but I just couldn't. It was so fucking beautiful and it moved me in a way
That's
I couldn't
powerful.
explain. Yeah, he's got this way about him, and I think he's a good example of how music can make you feel because it's like, and I said this to him when he was on my show, that sometimes you'll see an artist and they'll bring you into their space for a moment, and suddenly everything around you disappears, and all in that moment that exists is you and that person and their music.
Hmm.
And that's all you
Well,
see
look,
and
we could,
feel.
I don't know how much time we have. We could even dive into, recreational drugs and taking psychedelics and listening to music. That is a whole topic. I don't know if you've ever taken any psychedelics or what your opinions on recreational drugs are.
I've done magic mushrooms and it was
Yeah.
an experience. I've spoken about this on the show before. If you want to see a really, really good show on that, I'd recommend checking out my first podcast that I did with a guy called Josh Leonard.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
spoke about this extensively, his experiences, positive experiences of drug use. Obviously, if you're going to do drugs, please do them responsibly. Understand that they are unpredictable, they are can and are unsafe, and it's a bit of a grey. I don't want to promote drug use. I think that's a bad kind
Yeah. Of
of
course.
stance to have.
Yeah.
But I'm not a hypocrite. I have done drugs myself, and I have had positive experiences. I've also had negative experiences.
Same
Understand,
here. Yeah.
right, that taking drugs is a risk. It's always going to be a risk. And I think the biggest thing I could really leave you with on this topic is we all know that drugs affect brain chemistry, but we don't know, we can't predict how it will affect each individual. One of the first books that I ever read on brain chemistry, the first chapter is literally dedicated to telling you different experiences of different people and how wild it is. Like I read an account of a guy, and I've said this on the show before, but like a guy who tried alcohol for the first time at age 18 and was paralyzed from head to toe. He couldn't
Whoa.
move for 24 hours
From the alcohol.
from
Whoa.
the alcohol. Yeah.
That's
It
that's
was a,
crazy.
yeah, because
There
what,
wasn't any underlying issues before.
no,
Just
nothing. Just
wow.
that was the effect that alcohol had on his body, his biology, right?
That's
Physiology.
crazy.
And it is because for most people it's just you get lightheaded or you get drunk, you get obviously it can cause depression, it can cause different things, but it's that's generally everyone has a similar experience, but obviously it affects people differently from an emotional standpoint and everything. But I'd never heard of that before.
Yeah.
But
Same.
it
It's
got me
crazy.
thinking of different things. Like you hear about people in the 60s and 70s that did acid, and there's the famous story of Sid Barrett and how he kind of lost his mind. He went and he lived a life. He continued and did his thing, but he was never the same person again.
Was this the
And
guy that took so many tabs or something by accident?
no, not by
Was
accident.
it?
He was a very famous drug user, acid. He was in Pink Floyd
Oh.
in
Oh,
the
okay.
early
Oh.
days, yeah, and he took it, and the story goes that he lost his mind and he was no longer able to sort of contribute to the band in the same way that he did. So he did have like a life after. He wasn't like wheelchair bound or like bedridden or something like that, but he just lost his mind. It affected him in a huge, profound way. And there's this horrifying photo of him. I say horrifying, maybe that's a bit of too of a strong word. It's an eerie photo of him. So he left the band either the late 60s, maybe early 1970s, something like that. The band then is, people like Phil Gilmore join, and it becomes the sort of the band that we know today. Obviously, the first album and everything is hugely celebrated, and Sid's contributions are hugely celebrated, and they were a big 60s band as well, like of the time. But their sound dramatically changed after that. And if you listen to Wish You Were Here, the album, the song Shine On You Crazy Diamond, part one and two, is about Sid Barrett. And I believe in the recordings for that album, he famously showed up to the studio unannounced. And he was just in the studio and they didn't recognize him because he looked so different.
Wow.
In the 70s, also the 60s, he looked like skinny guy, kind of looked like that guy, like a cross between like Bob Dylan and the lead singer of that Led Zeppelin style band, what they called, Greta Van Fleet, like kind of like that look, that hairstyle,
Yeah. Yeah. I see.
tallish guy,
Yeah.
skinny, just
Yeah.
average
Yeah.
70s dude, right? Or late 60s dude. In this photo, and you can look it up online, he's like kind of a bit overweight, completely bald, no eyebrows, looking into the camera. And bear in mind, this is like early 70s. This isn't like a new photo or something.
Yeah.
It's just very eerie. Like it's like in his eyes, you can tell it's him, but it's not the same guy anymore. And often you see
Yeah.
that with people that do like drug use and they lose themselves. They are no longer the same person anymore.
What was his name again? I'm
Sid
actually going to check it
Sid
now.
Sid Barrett.
Sid Barrett.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just wanted to kind of like outline that when it comes to drug use. Like it's important to consider that obviously that's an example of where too much drug use can lead to something. But it's
Yeah.
unpredictable. There's been many instances that have been spoken about over the years, and records and accounts and scientific studies of people that only took a drug once, and that was enough to change everything and ruin everything. So
Yeah.
proceed with caution. Know that it's a risk, and know that there are good and bad things that can happen. There are a lot of people that swear by drug use and say positive things. Josh Leonard is one of them. I know he would agree with me though that it is a risk, and you have to consider
Yeah. I
a lot
mean,
of
people microdose and stuff. Like people do
exactly.
that a lot. So I get it. I see the pros and cons. I've done psychedelics,
There you go, and
done
you've
acid,
obviously.
done shrooms. Yeah, great times and bad times. So I really do see it.
I know the common one with those sort of drugs as well, and I can say this from experience too, is that it's a lot of it is the situation you find yourself in, how much you do, who you're surrounded by,
Yeah.
all of
And
these
your
factors.
head at
Yeah,
the time as well. You've got to make sure you're feeling good before you go into any drug, really.
yeah, exactly. It's huge, and it can really ruin lives, but it can also be profound. There's people that have said that it's actually changed their perception, and
Yeah.
I think that that's interesting. Josh Leonard had told me he does a show called the Pursuit of Infinity podcast. By the way, I'd recommend checking that
Okay.
out. It's really
Yeah.
good.
Cool.
We've been on each other's shows. He's been on some of the big ones. Episode 200, Life After Death, was a good one with him. A bunch of episodes about UFOs and all sorts of stuff.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd like that. It's good stuff. And for those who haven't listened to those episodes, go out of your way to check them out. Check out the Pursuit of Infinity podcast. You won't be disappointed. Um, he framed it in a way that I thought was interesting, and he told me about experiences of doing it with his partner and how it saved his relationship even, and it was
Wow.
kind of a bit of a like out there experience, but he has a very positive demeanor and he's in a good place, and I think that he's an example of like how it can work and how you have to be careful, but it can be a good thing. Um, I think a lot of it comes down to knowing yourself, paying very close attention to how drugs affect you,
Hmm.
and basing things on that. Like obviously I've painted how dangerous they can be and how it can just be unpredictable. But like if
Hmm.
you're taking a drug and you see its effect on you and you see how it is, and it's either a positive or it's negative, I think that's the thing that you got to kind of keep in mind. So like I know
Yeah.
that for instance that if I'm not in a good headspace, alcohol will really affect me in a deep negative way. And obviously that's normal because it's a depressant, but it's like way more than it should. And I'm like, I need to understand that I shouldn't be, if I'm feeling low, don't go out for a drink on my own. Like, just don't do that.
Yeah.
Sounds obvious, but like
Yeah.
it makes you feel good initially, but then you get in your own head and then you're brought down and it's like,
Yeah.
um, it's the same as like when they tell you that you shouldn't do hard drugs like say acid or magic mushrooms and be in a negative mindset or around the
Hmm.
place you don't feel comfortable
Yeah.
because that can send you on a bad trip and then who knows where you'll end up, right? So it's one of those.
Especially in like young people doing them as well, because their minds are growing. I did acid and stuff at like 16, stupid times to do it, but why not? I don't know. We ended up, okay, I'll say this story. This was my first time doing it. It was 2021, and we were sat in here, and there was three of my other friends, and then we just decided just to walk outside, go to the park, because, we're tripping balls, and we find this cat, and we're like, oh, cool, this cat is the coolest thing we've ever seen. We called it Looping the Time Cat. And we were like, oh, cool, stroking it. And then we're like, okay, we got to go back now. Walked all the way back. This cat's following us all the way home. And we're like, oh my God, it's ours. This is the savior cat. We love this cat. We grow emotional intelligence. What am I saying? Emotional,
A bond, like a strong bond.
emotional bond, yeah, with this cat. And then the next day, after we're coming down, I'm like, Dad, I have a cat. And he goes, is it this one that's been missing on Facebook for 3 days? I'm like, oh my God,
Oh
that's it.
shit.
We found a cat at 3 a.m. while tripping our balls off and we gave it back. It was actually called Archie in the end.
I had such a bad feeling that you were gonna like just turn around and be like, "Oh yeah, this beautiful, wonderful cat," and then it was just like a dead bird or something. Like
No, 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 no.
you just,
Oh man,
yeah.
I would have like cried, I think.
Oh
No,
well,
it's a lovely story. Just finding a cat that's actually been missing. They were like, how did you find it? And I was like, I was just walking. Just walking. Wasn't tripping or anything. It's insane.
it's just crazy how stuff like that can happen. And oh my god, oh, I could tell you some stories, but maybe I'll save that for another day.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I,
How long have
I,
we been going now?
I'm conscientious of the fact that I don't want to paint drugs as a positive thing. I don't
Yeah.
want that to be a stance that I
No,
take. Like
no. I mean, I
I,
could say bad stories, but I don't want to make it sad.
yeah, it's. I mean, I'm too old to do all that. I did a lot of this when I was a teenager, and
Hmm.
at the time, I remember I remember being very aware that I shouldn't be doing these things and that it's a risk. But I was swept away with the fun and the thrill of it, I guess, and I think to a certain extent, being rebellious, being doing these things when you're younger is sort of a rite of passage. But it's a risk and it is foolish, and I don't know. I mean, it's like in life you make decisions, and sometimes you're reckless, sometimes you make educated risks, guesses, etc. And all of these choices and decisions you make in life ultimately lead you somewhere somehow and lead you into all sorts of things. Maybe it's a lesson, maybe it's the worst day of your life, maybe it's the best day of your life, maybe it's a mixture of both. You never know where life is taking you, and but you can always trace it back to the decisions you make, the things that you choose to do. And I look at the times that I did drugs, and I think at the time it was fun, it made sense. I worry more about where I got things and how sketchy a lot of that was.
Yeah.
I do, because if I was this age and doing it, I sure as fuck would not have associated or gotten drugs from those people. Like I remember like just thinking back to it and then looking at it now and just kind of going like, that's insane. I can't believe I was in that situation. And one of the big reasons why I don't do drugs anymore, I stopped doing it when I was a teenager, is that I found myself in situations where I was like, I don't want to be around these people. Because it was one thing when it was just me and a few friends, and not to worry anyone that knows me here. Like when I did do it, I was always with friends. Always. I was never alone. I was always in safe hands, at least. I was around other people. But there were times when there were, people we didn't know, dodgy people, scary people,
Hmm.
unsafe people. And, we were lucky to not get in any trouble or not be. And I knew people where, they hung around them for too long and they were in trouble. And my thing was always, if you get a bad vibe, leave, get out of that situation.
Yeah, of course.
Like I don't regret the times when I was with friends in like someone's place and I was staying over and that was something we did, because I'm sure many people have been in that situation. Like that's probably how most people tried weed for the first time, was at a friend's,
Yeah.
at a
Yeah.
party, you're in a safe space, it's okay.
Yeah.
The things that I worry about a lot of the time, especially when I hear about young people doing it, it's difficult because like I can't sit and say don't do it because it's like hypocritical, and I
Yeah.
was there and I did those things, but I'm also like, oh, please, for the love of God, be careful. Like if you're buying off strangers, you don't know what it's cut with. I mean, I had drugs that were laced with things,
Hmm.
and that was it was sold to me, and I bought it, and I didn't know that those things were in there. And I mean, I might as well talk about it now. I've brought it up.
Yeah, go on.
the two most profound drug experiences of my life. I don't know if I've ever told these stories before. So if you've never heard them before, here you go. Um, when I did magic mushrooms, I ate like a ton of them. Like I remember my school friend Alfie, like we would go to his house and he had like a tray of them that were dried up, and basically his brother used to like pick them in a field in a certain field in like autumn time, I think it was. That was like mushroom picking season. So you pick them, wait for them to dry out, as in like to not be wet anymore. You had to wait for them to dry, and then you'd cook them and then dry them out, something like that. And then once they're at that level, that's when you can eat them, and it creates the high, right? I ate, I took a handful, and bear in mind we're like 13, 14, so you know we're not thinking in a sensible way. It's just me and my friend egging each other on, and he's already done them at this point. I can't remember if he ate them in that moment. I don't recall, but I took a handful, and he's like, "Oh, don't be a pussy. Like, take more."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I took a massive hand. I ate like 20.
From ones off the ground. Is that what you were saying?
No, no,
You
no.
picked
These
them.
the okay. These were picked.
Yeah,
Uh,
picked. Yeah.
they were picked from the ground, but not in that moment. Like they were.
No, oh yeah, yeah.
His
Obviously.
his brother used to pick them in a field. His older brother would pick them in a field,
It's always a bit
cook
risky
them.
though doing that, Lauren, but yeah.
Yes, of course it was. But his brother knew what he was doing. He'd been doing it for years. He dried them out. He knew what he was doing. So
Okay.
these were the only dangerous thing really, other than doing the drug itself here, was that we were taking stuff of his brother, because his brother would have killed us if he'd have found out. um, I took a handful, and I was like, "Oh, this is shit. I don't feel a thing." And obviously, it's been
Right.
like
Of
five
course.
minutes.
Everyone says that. Yep.
Everyone says that, and it's like, "Oh, wait for an hour from now, buddy."
Yeah.
We went upstairs, or no, we went to the next room where no, that we did go downstairs. That was right, and his brother and his friends were there, and we would often hang with them, like different ages and stuff. And this was in the early days of YouTube, and they were all smoking in this connecting area, and we were smoking this variety of weed called pollen,
Okay.
and it was quite potent. I don't remember if it was skunk or if it was just regular weed or something. But we smoked it, and we got like crazy, crazy high. And I just have this memory of stare. It was like true classic stoner, like you've seen in the films. Like we're just staring at this screen, and there's some weird like military training videos. I just remember like it might have been like in China or something, like just like thousands of guys with their shirts off, chopping through blocks and doing like a series of exercises. I don't know.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was just
yeah.
like,
Yeah,
but it was mesmerizing, and we were just staring at the screen, and that's all I remember. Like,
yeah. Wow.
yeah, and not just because that was like 20 plus years ago, but also even the next day, I don't remember what the fuck happened. I was just really high.
Always good.
Well, but the most high I've ever been in my entire life happened one summer, and this is when I was warning about the risks of drugs. So we'd bought three varieties of weed from this guy. Um, they were eighths, so they're 3/8. And this was the middle of summer, and we would like we were such idiots. We'd just like do it in the middle of this park,
Yeah.
which
Well,
it
same.
was, yeah, but it was like broad daylight, middle of the day, and we
Yeah,
think
yeah,
we're so cool. We weren't cool. We were idiots, but we were like,
yeah.
oh, we're so cool. And I remember, I don't know if it was this occasion or a different one, but I remember a police officer coming up to us, and we were shitting bricks. And like, I don't lie in situations like that. I'm like, well, he's there. He knows what's going on. I'm not going to lie. But I was like,
Hmm.
oh. And he's like, are you smoking weed? And we were like, yeah, and he was like the coolest police officer ever. You
Yeah, yeah,
just knew that he had done that when he was that age, and
yeah,
he
yeah.
basically just said to us like he warned us about certain things, and he let us be about our business, because we didn't have like a lot. It was like a tiny bit, and You're a fool if you think that people don't smoke weed or that, like most
Yeah.
people probably have. Most people have been exposed to it in some shape or form. It's just one of those things,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, I'm from Brighton, so I mean, everyone loves weed down here.
Oh yeah, and here in Manchester, it's like it's hard getting away from it sometimes. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, or I remember when I was at school, I would cross the road and there were just like houses that you just smell it from, and you're like, Jesus, what is that? Like a weed factory in there? Like fucking
Yeah.
hell! Like just calm down, man. It's like 3 p.m. on a Tuesday and you're smoking it up. But okay, so we're in this park and we're smoking, and we've been sold these 3 bags of weed. Now, at this point, I think I've been smoking weed for about a year, something like that. And one of them was laced with something.
Just
It,
one of them. That seems odd. If you got three
yeah,
bags, one of them were laced. Okay.
it might have been all three. I don't remember. But I do remember finding out that one of them was laced with ketamine.
Oh, right.
Now, for
Okay.
those who don't know, ketamine is horse tranquilizer. It's very dangerous. You can die from that. You won't,
It's
I doubt you ever die from weed. Like, Snoop Dogg's been smoking it his whole life. The worst
yeah.
effects that weed, generally speaking, can have is psychosis, mental health issues. It's
Paranoia as well.
exactly, but that's the thing. Like I know people that have smoked it, got the paranoia thing, stopped smoking, that went away.
Hey.
There you go. Right, yeah.
Happened to
So
me.
a lot of people complain about it dumbing them down, slowing them down. You stop doing it, it stops having the effect on your brain. The brain, the body, the mind can heal itself in ways people often underestimate. However, if you do, it goes back to our previous conversation about brain chemistry. If you do things and it has that irreversible impact on you, that's irreversible. So if you get psychosis or schizophrenia, and often it's like these things lay dormant. That's the thing. It's like they lay dormant in you and they can be triggered. And then it just takes a certain thing on your part, action on your part. And now it's there and you can't, because obviously mental health is not one of those things to be laughed about. Like it's not no health issue is, but like it's one of those that like once it's triggered, that's it. Now that's part of you now. Now you have
Yeah.
to find a way to handle that.
Yeah.
But in general, weed I would say is fairly harmless. But obviously, if it's laced with something, who knows? And I didn't know that anything was wrong until about an hour in. So we're sitting there in a circle of us. Not everyone is smoking weed. It was only like a few of us. The rest of us were just like sitting there and just chatting, being teenagers. The first point at which I knew there was a problem was it was a very hot day. It was like 30 degrees and I was freezing, like shivering. And I turned to the girl next to me and I was like, oh my God, it's freezing, isn't it? And she looked at me like I was insane. She just, she looked at me and there was concern in her eyes. And then she just said, no, it's not. It's like 30 degrees. And I heard her say that. And I knew she wasn't lying. I knew that I was wrong and she was right. And obviously my memory wasn't shot. Like I did remember that it was a hot day. And I was like, okay, this is a problem. And before I could really come to terms with that, that's when the high really kicked in. So the body thing carried the whole experience was about 3 hours, I would say, and it was a horrible fucking experience. So if you ever want a reason not to do drugs, here it is. So I'm sitting there, and the best way I can explain it was I'm going in and out of. I don't want to say like consciousness exactly, but like it was as though I was watching my life on a screen, like watching everything on a screen, and I'm sitting in a theater watching it play out. But instead of me, like it's like a POV, so I'm like looking around, but I'm watching myself looking around in it, and I'm like, this is weird. Like, how do I get back to that?
Yeah.
And
That's definitely
then
Kit.
right, and then it would basically like every I started counting because I was like, I need to focus. I need some way to
Hmm.
get through this. What can I do? And I realized that every kind of 5 or 10 minutes or every 20 minutes, it would throw me back into reality. So I was back in sort of in my body, feeling everything, and I was like looking around, like, well, what can I do? Okay, I can have a cigarette. There's a Monster energy drink here. I can drink, or energy drink. I can drink this.
Yeah.
What
Just
can
look
I?
normal.
Oh, I didn't care about any of that. Oh no, like, dude, I didn't give a shit how I looked. I was like, how do I stop this from happening? How do I not? Because I knew about drug use even at that age, that if you freak out, that's when it gets worse. You got to try to stay calm. That's number
Sure.
one. If you're tripping, if you're having a bad trip, if it's gone wrong, stay the fuck calm. Think about your options. Okay, I can drink a little bit of water. Don't overdrink. Very dangerous. Just monitor it. How is this making my body feel right now? Where am I at? Is it good? Is it bad? Like, what's going on? Talk to yourself. Tell yourself, I'm going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I'm going to get through this. That's what I did for like 2 or 3 hours. It finally ended, and it was like an ordeal. I
Yeah.
remember taking a long break from smoking at that point, and the thing that made me quit taking drugs happened a lot later. So this was like the final batch. So I've shared like
Yeah.
only bad ones, but I just
No,
feel
no,
like I
no,
should wait
no, it's
this
good.
out. Is it?
No, it's good. Well,
It's
not
not the
obviously
final.
good, but
It's not the final time I would ever smoke weed. Well, I'll tell you two instances actually, because I've smoked it since then, and this is interesting. So I took a break. I didn't smoke weed for like 2 years or something. So I think I stopped when I was like 15, 14, something like that. And I smoked again when I was about 17. Um, but again, I'd not, it was one instance. So it wasn't like, I went from regularly doing it to never doing it to like, oh, do you want some weed? And I tried some in a park with friends. There's a theme here.
yeah.
Um, I remember getting on the train and I couldn't lift my head up.
All right.
I
Okay.
was fucking terrified. I could not lift my head. My head just kind of leaned to the side. And so I suffer from sleep paralysis, right? It's a condition I have. I did an episode on it in the archives. I think it's like 192 or something. Sleep apnea and sleep paralysis. More specifically, I have sleep paralysis. I have like very acute sleep apnea.
Yeah.
It, to me, it felt like experiencing sleep paralysis, but while I was conscious.
Yeah.
And when I've experienced sleep paralysis in the past, it's just been like, oh, okay, well, I just have to remain calm. I'll get through this. I'll be all right. This was like, fuck, this is happening. How am I? How can I? I'm paralyzed. I can't move.
Yeah.
I can't move my fucking head. I was very lucky that it only lasted about 10 minutes, 20 minutes. I was like,
Scariest 10 minutes of your life, I bet.
literally, I was like, I don't want to ever do this again, and I didn't
Yeah.
until, so I would have been 17 then. So during COVID, I would have been 25, no, 26, 27. So it was, yeah, it was a while ago. Um, there were some dudes that I lived with. They happened to be smoking it one night. I figured, it's been a long time. It's harmless. I'll be all right. Let's just give it a
Hmm.
try. Again, don't know these guys very well. Very stupid. Now I'm a grown man, so there's even more stupid.
Yeah.
And the last time I'd smoked weed was when I was 17, and it was, not good. I had the giggles. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm
That
in the
was like me to
mirror.
start with weed. It was
Right.
always laughing at just everything.
But then it got to a concerning point because I was trying to calm down and I couldn't breathe. And I was trying to like just drink water and breathe. And I almost had a panic attack because I couldn't calm myself down.
Hmm.
And I was like, this is bad, this is bad. And I had to wait it out for about half an hour. And then I think in the end, I just slept it off. And I just kind of prayed that I would wake up the next day and I'd be fine. Woke up the next day feeling absolutely fine. And I was like, right, I ain't touching this
Yeah.
shit ever again. And that was the final time I ever did drugs. And I think what I've learned, going back to the beginning of this part of the conversation is that from that brain chemistry book to this point here, I've realized in myself, I have to be very careful. It's better for me to not do it. I have a healthy relationship with alcohol, but even that I monitor,
Yeah.
and I've had my demons when it comes to that, and I think it's just about a lot of it comes down to discipline and just being careful with yourself, knowing yourself, understanding what's good for you, what's bad for you, and working around that in a positive way, I would say. Do you have any
Yeah.
advice on this? On this?
Um, no, I mean, I started smoking weed in 2020, and actually, it was because of a girl. Really bad start. But listen, listen. Right, so I was 15, right? And there was this girl who liked me, and I'd never done any drugs or anything. Like, I was very like, no, no, I'm not going to touch that. Everyone
Innocent.
says
It
that.
was all her fault.
No, 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 no. It's my fault. But I had friends who smoked weed at the time. They were all kind of getting into it. But I was like, no, no, I'm good. I'll be your friend, but I don't want to be involved. Then this girl was like, oh, do you want to go on this date? We can smoke this joint. I'm like, yeah. I mean, I smoke joints. That's fine. 15. I mean, I was 15 at the time. A teenage boy wanted some action. Right. I was done. But I was like, so I called my friends. I was like, hey, can I come for a smoke sesh? And they were like, yeah, for sure, man. Never thought you'd say that. Cool. And then I go smoke weed. And then, yeah, ever since I was smoking it. Uh,
Oh shit, is that easy to get hooked? Fuck. I
yeah,
mean, it
but
happened the
they,
same for me as well, but it's just sad, isn't
mm,
it? It's just like that starts
no,
a
but
period in
me, I
your
loved
life,
it
you know.
though. I loved it because I was like, it was a great time in my life. I think it's just then over the years after, it was like, oh, my heart palpitations,
Oh
paranoia. And I was like,
wow.
okay, no, I've got to stop now. Okay, it's getting a bit too much because I was doing so many other drugs because weed's like a gateway, I think.
Yes, absolutely.
So after weed, I did MDMA, shrooms, and then acid, ket, coke. Mate, I tried it all at like a stupidly young age. Now I don't do anything. I'm good now. But apart from
Well,
alcohol,
so I just want to explore this for a second. Like you drew the line somewhere. You say it's because of experiencing things like heart palpitations. A lot of
yeah,
people would just experience that and just let it go. Like, so you were just concerned about your health and you're like, right, and you
yeah.
stopped and
Well,
that's
I
it?
I did have to go to the hospital. So
Right. Okay. So
for
you
stuff like my heart, and I had to get ECGs done and stuff. And it's still bad
wow.
now. But I was doing stupid amounts of drugs. Like I
Oh my
wouldn't say
God.
addicted, but we were all doing like MDMA pills. Oh, let's do it on a Friday. Oh, let's just do it on a random Tuesday and then a Friday at someone's house. And we did that all the time. And yeah, messed up your brain. But I'm not going to say it was a bad time. I absolutely loved it. But yeah, I'm glad.
It's that's the thing about it, isn't it? Like if you could ever really draw a point, I guess, from this conversation, it would be like take them at your own risk,
Mm-hmm.
but know whatever happens, you know, it's there's risks at every turn, and I feel like maybe there's like there's a window, I would say, that you have, and that window is like before it turns into something you can't change. I know I sort of said that before, but like I've seen a big reason why I don't do drugs is that I saw what it did to people, and I didn't want that for myself. And also, like I mentioned before, some of the people that were around were just bad news. Like we've all been to a party before where we ended up there, and maybe we didn't really fancy going, or someone dragged us along, and we're like, oh, why am I here? This feels uncomfortable. I don't like this. I don't like this feeling. I should get out of this situation. And some people choose to stay in that situation. Other people choose to get out of it. But it's something that happens in life. And, I look at stuff like that and I'm like, okay, I think it's important to trust your emotions, your feelings, and actually respond to that in a positive way. You know, I mean, like you ended up in hospital. For many people, that's a big wake up call. For some people, it isn't. Some people, it's just
I kept
another
going
day.
after that, but yeah.
Wow, fucking hell. Why? Okay, all
Uh,
right. Look, why? Why did you keep doing that?
uh, because I'm stupid and I think I'm invincible. I'm not. But at the time, I was like, well, I think it's because the doctors were just like, well, you're fine. And I was like, oh, well, if you say I'm fine, I'm fine. But like, why am I here? You know,
So, what was the thing that, if going to the hospital wasn't
I was just like,
the
yeah, I was just
thing?
like, yeah, my heart's really weird. Oh, we'll run some ECGs test on you. Oh, yeah, you're good. Oh, great. I want to keep going then.
So, what was the thing that made you stop then? If not that,
More the paranoia and all that. And yeah, just more heart palpitations because I was like, it was every time I was taking just drugs, I would just feel everything in my body and I didn't like it.
it's crazy. It's crazy how it can have these effects on us.
It is, it is mental. I don't regret it though. A lot of people say they regret taking all the drugs. I don't. It was definitely really, really fun, but I'm glad that I did eventually stop. You know, if I was still going now, I don't think I'd be on this podcast. I'd be out in a field, man.
I'm glad to see that you're on the other side of it and then you're in a positive headspace. I think
Yeah,
if
of
anything,
course.
it's maybe we're both examples of like if you say no to drugs, it can only lead to good things. So there you go.
Yeah.
Um, couple of final questions for you.
Okay.
What's the best advice you've ever received?
I knew you were going to ask this because I listened to all the pods. You asked this to everyone, and I was like, okay, I've got to be ready. Well, pretty simple. Just stop caring about what people got to say. It's that easy, man. Like fear of judgment. I spoke about it already. Like post that video. Do you know? Just do it. Just, and I know that's weird coming from me because I'm not doing that, but I do mean it.
Well, I think with you, you do. It's just you're still figuring stuff out, aren't you?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
the live
but
streams are very clear cut. We've kind of
mhm,
said that. Like it's clear what you do. It's clear why you enjoy it. It's clearly got a purpose, and it can only get better, right? Everything else, you're still figuring it out, and you're
yeah.
super young. You got your whole life ahead of you. Like there's time.
Yeah.
There's time to
A lot of
figure
people
it out.
are like scared to be cringy, but man, I've been cringy for life, man. Like I had another account. I wasn't Xaiden before. I had this whole another account where I posted music. Man, that was the cringiest thing ever. But I didn't care. I was just
I
posting it for fun.
I got to say the whole cringe argument. I wonder about this these days because
Hmm.
there is definitely cringiness, and like I remember someone asked me about this recently, like what is cringe, and I'm like, it's a good question. What
That is
is
actually
cringe? How do you
because
define cringe?
that's subjective, right?
I
Surely.
think so, yeah. I mean, for me, cringe is more. I think it's overused. Just like when people call people narcissists, I'm like, do you actually fucking
Mhm.
know what that means? Like, do
Yeah,
you know what a
narcissist gets
narcissist
thrown
is?
around very loosely nowadays.
It does, and a lot of people that get accused of being a narcissist are not actually a narcissist.
Hmm.
I say this because it fucks me up. I get called arrogant and a narcissist sometimes,
Yep,
and
mate,
I'm
been
like,
there, been there.
it's annoying. It's like there's a big difference between being confident and loving yourself versus thinking you're better than people and thinking the needs of your life are more important than others. I've never for a second thought that. Have I been selfish in my
Mhm.
life? Absolutely. But I never meant to be. It's not like I went around and thought, fuck everyone else. I'm important. Like, no.
Yeah,
Like, it was, as many people have experienced, you get too self involved sometimes, and sometimes you forget to consider the needs and wants of other people. And
yeah,
maybe people call you out on it. Maybe you realize yourself, but you realize, and you're like, oh, my bad. We got to dial this down. We got to change things up, and you move on.
yeah. Yeah, you hear it a lot in relationships as well. They go,
Sure.
so the guy and the girl break up. The guy would be like, "Oh, she was so crazy," and the girl would be like, "He was such a narcissist, crazy and narcissist." You always hear every girl's crazy and every guy's a narcissist.
And
This is
this
the
is
top words I always hear.
exactly. And I think you know, girls always being called crazy is always unfair because like there's a
Yeah,
some girls out there are legitimately crazy. I'd say it's like
yeah,
5%. I think the wider majority of it is girls are falsely accusing. guys falsely accusing girls because they don't understand their emotional makeup.
Hmm. For sure.
Because if a girl is going through like a difficult time in her life, or maybe she's just a very emotional woman, and her man doesn't understand her, or her partner doesn't understand her, and then so she complains about it. She says like, "Hey, I wish you would understand. I wish you would try." And then that guy throws that in her face and goes, "Well, no, you're the problem." Like,
Hmm.
obviously, that feels terrible to be told that you're
Yeah.
the problem, and you're just trying to express your emotions, and like maybe people don't always voice things in the right way, but like that's art of communication, isn't it?
Hmm.
It's an art form in itself. Not everyone gets it right. We're all learning. If there's conscious efforts to try and work with each other and communicate in the right way, it's going to work out. If there isn't, if it's just arguing, then it's not going to work out. But there's a lot of girls out there that I think that they just want their man to listen
Hmm.
and to
And want to
show
be
empathy.
problem solvers, really, don't they?
Well, it's just the thing, isn't it? Like you can't solve every problem. Sometimes it's just
Exactly.
like give me a hug, be here with me,
Yeah.
hear me. Like so much of it is not. If I've spoken about this on the show before, but if you want to show empathy, guys, if you want to show empathy to ladies, um, just sit and listen, man. And when you're sitting and listening, try to consider the wider context because that's what it's really about. If she's complaining about work and how people treat her and stuff like that, yeah, a lot of it is the specifics of that. But a wider point will probably be these people make me feel insecure, or I feel powerless, or I feel bullied, or I want different things in my life. Like that'll be the bigger thing in the picture that maybe she's not spelled out, but by listening to what she tells you, you will get there. And she'll get frustrated if you can't find that because that shows you're not listening because you're not considering these things and how they build to the bigger thing. If you're just looking at trying to solve things, she's never really going to feel heard, and that's what the
Yeah.
issue is. And then,
Exactly. Well
yeah,
said.
when these arguments like escalate and it gets to a point where it's like, oh fuck you, rah, and then they break up, and then the accusations start coming out. It's like, oh, she was crazy, and it's like maybe she was, but maybe it was more that you just didn't react
Yeah.
and listen.
It's again crazy. It just gets thrown
Right.
around very loosely.
And if we talk about
Narcissism.
the
Yeah.
reverse narcissism, and it can happen either way, by the way. I'm just using
Hmm.
like the classic man
Yeah. Yeah.
female dynamic, but it works both ways, different relationships, different genders, etc. The narcissist thing, like I said, it takes the piss because it always comes down to people not understanding what that means. Prioritizing your own needs and happiness does not make you a narcissist or arrogant. But if you are in a relationship, if you are responsible for other people, if you have children, people that are dependent on you, people just around you in your vicinity, friends, whoever, right? You have to accept that your needs and wants and actions affect other people. See, a relationship is the easiest way of explaining this because you go from being single and only being responsible for yourself to now like you're not responsible for that other person, but your actions affect them and vice versa. If you make a decision, and let's say you live together, that affects both of you. So you have to consult them, talk to them, make a decision together and move forward, right? It's no longer just you. Obviously, if you had kids, you add that to the dynamic. Now people are dependent upon you for life. And it means you have to put aside your time, put aside things that you want so that you can more readily be available for them. And that a lot of people that are bad parents or who don't live up to the mark, it it's not about ability to be a good parent. I think it's more to do with like that decision to not do those things, to not make those sacrifices. If you're not willing to make those sacrifices, you should never have been a parent in the first place. That's just the underlying point with that.
Yeah. No, well said.
Thank you. But it's just
Well said.
it's
I
yeah,
agree.
and this is why it irritates me about like people who've called me labeled me a narcissist or arrogant over the years. It's like I'm fully able to put the needs and wants of others above myself, and I have done many times. I've done things and put myself in situations that put me at a disadvantage so that other people could have an advantage. You know, does that sound like the behavior of someone who doesn't care about other people and who puts the needs of himself above others? No. But there's also times in life, and often times in life, when you should put your needs above others and prioritize yourself. I often say this to I've said this to my girlfriend, I've said this to friends. Prioritizing your own happiness is the most selfless act you can make. Now, that sounds like a contradiction, right? That's a crazy statement. Hear what I'm going to say. By prioritizing your happiness and by putting yourself in the most positive, happy place that you can, where you are fulfilled in life, content in life, you've either got the things you want or you've found happiness to the point where you're happy within yourself. Then you are more readily able to be there for the people in your life that need you. If you don't prioritize your happiness at all, if you put the needs of everyone else before yourself constantly, you will always be miserable and it will backfire and it will mean that you end up affecting those around you, whether that's being negative, whether that's being destructive and everyone picks up the pieces, whatever that ends up being. At the end of the day, it'll be everyone else that suffers as a result, you know?
Yeah.
It's like
Amen.
this. It's like yeah. It's like when people take their life. You know, like
Yeah.
the person who took their life. That's why they say that it's a short term problem to a or short term solution to a long
Temporary
term
problem.
temporary problem. Right, right. Permanent solution to a temporary
Permit.
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
sorry,
That's it.
I'm
That's it.
getting my words mixed up. Sorry. It's been 3 hours. Give me a break. So that's where that comes from, and the person who's took their life, I mean, we don't know where things go beyond death, but we know that that's it for them. They don't have to be here anymore. But everyone else has to live with the impact of that decision, of that
Hmm.
act. And I mean, that's the one thing that's always stopped me from doing it over the years. You know, I
Oh yeah,
looked at
for
that and
sure.
do you know what I mean? You just think
Yeah,
it's
I remember
like,
my because I mean suicide. Unfortunately, it's been quite prevalent in like my family. But my gran was just like, if any of you like ever kill yourself, you're so selfish, or will hate you. And then I'm just like, yeah, it is really selfish to do that.
and it's tricky because it's, I know people who've taken their lives. I've seen it happen. Um, not seen it happen, but I've seen
Right?
it.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know, yeah, all right. Um, it's like a 50-50 thing. I do think it's selfish, but I also understand how people get to that point where they
Oh.
feel
Oh
like
yeah.
they have
Completely.
nothing,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
no way out. And it's like you always have a way out, but it's easy to get to that point.
Hmm.
And it's a tough one, isn't it? It's but I always think that like there's always something to live for. There's things can always get better. No matter how
Hmm.
dark things are, no matter how difficult things are, life can always get better. And the people here that are here for you don't want to lose you, you know. And if you're a person listening to this and it's like, oh, I have no one, well, you might have people in the future, but you're preventing yourself from meeting those people. You're saying there will never be a chance that I'll be happy again. It's like that's just not true. You know, happiness, I think the real pursuit of happiness comes down to learning to let go and learning to find the happiness that exists within everyday life. It's not tied to your goals or you know, no one goal is going to bring you happiness, no one person is going to bring you happiness. Like happiness is a state of mind and a state of being and a state of understanding that it's there, it's always been there, and even in the darkest most difficult times of your life, if you can get in that right mindset, you can still find it. It's
Hmm.
there.
Agreed. Amazing.
What's the biggest life lesson you've learned so far?
Oh, biggest life lesson. Oh man, I had something figured out, but it's been, would say, 3 hours. I had something in my head for it, but no, I can't remember.
You know, it's funny as well because like I said to you as I said off camera to Xaiden that like, oh, I'm sorry if I'm not fully with it. You know, I just come off work and I'm doing this show and I'm like not with, I threw coffee down my mouth and I was like, let's do it. And it's the longest show I've done for quite some time. It's been I can't remember the last time I did a 3 hour show. I've done it before. But it's one of those I could talk to you forever, and that's a good
Yeah.
thing, and
No,
I love
yeah,
that.
same.
Yeah, but
Um, thank you, man. But yeah, I've got an answer for the question. I
hey,
say,
biggest life
yeah,
lesson.
I do. Biggest life lesson, man. Um, man, I had it. So, I had it. Hold on. I had it. It's you gotta always be you because everyone wants everyone else to like them, right? But you got to realize not everyone is gonna like you. That's
Yep.
just it. But you always need to be you. I'm always me, regardless of who I'm with. I don't switch up for anyone. I always try and be like that. And I think a lot of people see that as real. You just need to keep being like that throughout life. A lot of people might change depending on a group they get into. And that's okay because that does happen. But stay true to you, you
I
know?
think it's also important as well because like you can't predict how people are going to switch up on you sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was talking to a friend the other day about something that had happened that I wasn't even aware of. Like, I'd spoken to someone about something, and then the next minute they're being like just dark and cold, and I'm like, what the hell happened?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
And I asked them, I was like, is everything okay? And they were just being weird, and I was like, okay, fine, whatever. I talked to another friend about it, a close friend of mine, and he explains why that issue is there. And he turned around to me and he said, "Oh yeah," like I explained because I was like, "Oh, what?" And then I tried to remember, and then he told me, "Oh, well, it was about this thing," and I was like, "Oh, well, that's bullshit because this is what happened." And he said before I could even finish, he was like, "Yeah, I know." And I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well," and I said this to them. That's not him. I know him. That's not
Mm-hmm.
him. And I felt happy in that moment because it's like, yeah, this guy does know me, and like this is bullshit. But it was also like kind of interesting because it's like, okay, here's this person I am. I know me. My closest friends know me. People know me. They know what I'm like. And then there are these people that they project whatever onto you from their life, from their perspective, and they create false narratives. They
Mm-hmm.
create whatever, or they have this perception of you that just isn't true.
Yeah.
Like
Uh-huh.
I've been, some people say I'm friendly, warm. I think the best compliments I've ever received from women, for instance, have been, "I feel safe around you." That's the best thing a man could ever hear
That
from a
is
woman.
that is very
That's
good.
just,
It's
yeah.
always
If
a
you
good
hear
one.
that, it's like, oh, thank you. But then I've also heard things like, "You're intense,"
Oh
or "I
my.
find you creepy," and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, why? Can you explain? No, you just are. And I'm like, okay, you're one person versus the 50 other people I know that say otherwise. I'm going to pay attention to the 50 people and not pay attention to you. And the same
Yeah.
is true of things like hate comments or any
Mm-hmm.
negative criticism that just ultimately brings you down. It's like, why do we spend so much time focusing on the negatives? We're
Yeah.
hardwired to it. We could get 100 comments telling us that we're amazing, and there's one comment
Yeah.
that says you're shit, and that's the thing we pay attention to. Crazy.
Yeah. I've never really cared too much about negative comments because like I think they're quite funny at the end of the day. None of them are insanely crazy. None of them are telling me to off myself, but you know, it's all right. The But I never get like actually typing a negative comment myself. It's so weird.
It
Like, I
is,
don't think I've
yeah.
ever, even if I've not liked something, going out my way to then type why I didn't like it, or it just seems so weird. Who actually does that? It's weird to me.
It is weird. It's very strange.
Like these are actual people and they're just typing negative stuff for fun, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I get people in my live streams and have done over the years. I had a lot of trolls recently, and like I just laugh at them. I'm just
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of it depends. Like I either laugh it off or I call them out on it, but not like in an aggressive way. I just kind of try to be like, okay, what's your problem? Like there was a guy recently
Yeah.
giving me shit, and he it was crazy stuff. It was like, oh, unemployment, and I'm like, I have work, I have a job, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then like, oh, talentless hack, and I'm like, I let him stay in the streams. I just didn't care because
Yeah.
he kept leaving, and I knew he would because it doesn't phase me. I'm just like, well, I know you're full of shit, and you're just some
Yeah.
troll on the internet, and you must be pretty depressed to spend your time doing that. It's just sad.
Yeah.
But
That's
then
kind of my humor though. It's just like kind of making fun of myself. I even said in one of
same,
my
yeah,
live,
yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, can someone just make a diss track on me? And someone did. And I was like, this is so great.
Oh,
Like
that's awesome.
it was,
And it's just
it's just funny.
it's more exposure for you as well. So it's smart.
Exactly. You
Because
know,
they're gonna be
I
like,
diss
why is
myself.
who's this guy? Why are they dissing
Yeah.
Xaiden Raye? Oh, I gotta check him out.
Yeah.
Genius.
I'm like, yeah, you
Free
can diss me all you
marketing.
like. I'll diss you back, and we'll just have a laugh. Because that's like me and my friends anyway. We just
Yeah.
kind of diss each other. No one's really the victim. Everyone kind of gets
Yeah,
like
you can't take yourself
slightly
too
bullied.
seriously.
Yeah.
But I don't know, with trolls it's I think there's a different line that's crossed there though, because it's I say this to some trolls, I'm like, and I often like I ended up blocking that guy because he went too far, and I was just
Yeah.
like, man, fuck you. And I said like the thing that worries me about it is I don't care. I'm still going to do my thing, and I'm happy in myself. So trolls can't break me. Like I'm like, oh, well, you boohoo, you're going to say some horrible shit to me. So
Yeah.
what? Like, I've heard worse from a lot from people that I respect, people that I don't respect, everything in between. You can't phase me.
Hmm.
But when it's like just relentless and from these people, like sometimes I'll just turn around and I'll be like what's wrong? Why are you doing this? I was like, you don't even know me. You come here 5 seconds. You probably made a snap judgment. A lot of these things do tend to come from like jealousy. I think people
Hmm.
they see like someone who's confident or someone who's trying to do something, and they get like really aggressive about it. And it probably comes from insecurity. Maybe it comes from
Hmm.
boredom. I don't know. But more often than not, it comes from someone that's not happy in themselves. So they attack other people to make themselves feel better. And I always say, like, first of all, that's bad in general. You shouldn't do
Hmm.
that. It's negative behavior. Secondly,
Yeah.
you're never going to get what you want. You might get it in people that are weaker and like not well adjusted and can't cope with those sort of comments. And shame on you if you do that, because like those people, people don't realize the power of words and how they can impact people in such a huge way. And I don't think people realize quite how much their words can change people's lives for the worse, for the better. Um, Choose your words carefully. That's why sayings like that
Hmm.
that exist is because like you don't know how you're going to affect someone. But then there's also just like this element of like you're just wasting your time, you're wasting your energy by being negative. Like it's not going to make you feel better. Like I don't understand what goes through their head as far as like, oh, this is funny, this will make me feel better. Really? At 3 a.m. when you're staring at the ceiling and you're just hating yourself,
Yeah.
is it really going to make you feel better that you threw a couple of comments my way?
Yeah. Crazy.
No, it's not going to make you feel better. But you know what will make you feel better is doing positive things with your life, taking risks on yourself, accepting and taking ownership over the fact that I fucked up. I've took the wrong path. I've been mean. I've been this, that, and the other. It's time to like change my mindset and not be like this anymore.
Hmm.
And
Great.
anyone can do that. So there it is. 3 hours and 13
Wow.
minutes.
Is that your longest one?
Nah, but it's up there. It's definitely top five, 100%.
Yes.
Shazam!
Can't wait to listen to this at work.
You're gonna listen.
I will.
Fuck yeah!
I will.
Final question for you, man.
Yeah.
Do you have any upcoming projects or final thoughts that you'd like to share with our listeners?
Um, no, nothing I can really say. I'm kind of still indecisive, undecisive. What's the word? About what I want to release.
Indecisive?
Indecisive, right? Yeah, not on.
Yeah, indecisive.
Indecisive about what I'm going to release. But if you're next live, I'll send a couple songs your way. You let me know which ones
Oh hell
you
yeah.
think I should release. Yeah, like the sound of that.
Yeah. Oh gosh, wow. Yeah, okay, cool.
Because I don't know. I've got loads of songs that I just don't know what to do with, whether to finish them or not. I just need more opinions.
I hmm. Here's what I would do. Decide on 10 songs that you're happy to release. You're like, this is an album.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how you go about putting it out yourself, like whether you want to do that now or later, but just do that. Everything else that you have that's like unfinished or you're undecided about, finish it anyway.
Okay.
Just finish it. See how many songs you're left with. And any songs that you're just like, I'm in an ahhing about, release them as like either one-offs or as part of compilation, something like that. Like it's maybe EP, something like that. Just release them anyway.
Okay. Yeah. An EP. Yeah.
More, the more the better.
Yeah.
You know, like I've got 11 songs out right now, and for the longest time I was like, should I get back in the studio? I've got like, I counted the other day. I've got at least I think it's about somewhere between 100 and 200 songs that are like ready to go pretty much and would
Ready to
just
go.
yeah,
Wow. Not even
they would not like
finished.
recorded, but they're like
All right.
I've written them, I've recorded videos of them, the structure's there, you know, it would just I had to divide them into like songs that are full band and songs that are just acoustic only.
Yeah.
But I looked at that and that's not even counting all the stuff that I've like finished. There's like loads that I'm like
Oh yeah.
I've not recorded a video of, or it's just kind of sitting there and I'm still figuring it out. So there's potentially three, four, 500, something like that. But it's not about how many, it's about the quality and it's about putting out what you're happy with. But I think the worst thing you can do is be like, oh, it's not good enough. Oh, I don't know. Because people are going to see it very differently. I think the best thing you can do is just kind of get to a point where you're happy to release it and be like, I'm happy with this. I'm happy with
Yeah.
this. And look at it more like
Yeah.
that.
Again, I think it comes down to I'll make a song and I'll be like, oh, this is great. I could release this tomorrow. And then next day, oh, wait a minute. It actually wasn't that good. Anyway, next project. And then
Yeah, well,
just keeps going like
that's
that.
how things just kind of sit there and never do anything. Like, and it's
Yeah. I'm sure a lot
crazy.
of people feel like that, you know?
Well, I'll give you a perfect example. There's a band that I love called A Great Big Pile of Leaves. They've been around since late,
Great,
I know,
great
right?
name.
Since yeah, since the late 2000s. Their best album is their newest one, and they take fucking forever to release albums. And I tweet them this sometimes because I'm like, "What the fuck, man? Why you made us wait so long?" And they're like, "Oh, we're working on it. We're working on it." Like to give you an idea, their second album was released in like 2013. Their next
Yeah.
album wasn't released till 2021, but it was their best one.
Jeez.
So
Well, fair.
the
Fair
wait was
enough.
worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, I re-downloaded like their second album when I was like re-downloading Spotify at one point about a year or two back. And there was like a re-release or like there was like some bonus tracks from the second album that I'd never heard. Like I was like, oh my God. And one of their songs is called Learning Curves. It was like a throwback because it was from that era. And obviously the sound has changed a little bit since then.
Yeah.
But it was also like it was the best song from that album. It wasn't on the album, but it was like better than anything else. And there were some really good songs on there, but genuinely
Yeah.
I personally felt like it was my favorite.
Yeah.
And that was a track that wasn't even going to be on there.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
just put the song out. Fuck it. Put it out.
Yeah. Man. I'm gonna get on it.
Good man.
After this, I'm going straight to it.
It's been an absolute pleasure. It's been a journey with you. We've
Thank you.
explored so many topics, and I hope we've done you justice as far as at least shining a spotlight on your talent, because
Yeah,
we've
of
I
course.
feel like we've spoken about anything but you today, and it's a bit like,
Hey man, I don't mind. I'm here for a good
no,
time,
I
not a long
do, I
time.
do, I do. You're an incredible musician and a fantastic
Thank you,
producer,
man.
and you got a good head on your shoulders, and this was certainly worth the wait, I think, and my listeners are gonna just
Yeah.
I know they're going to love it as much as I did. So thank you.
Thank you.
Um, can't wait till the next time we do this.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited. Will 100% be back.
Thank you so much. All the best to you. I wish you the very best with all your projects. Can't wait to hear the album when it eventually comes out. To all the listeners of the Christian Reeve podcast, as always, be safe, be well. I hope you enjoyed this show as much as I did. And I'll see you all in the next one.